Vamos. Vamos.
And I think we're lost.
Welcome to the Moshpit Tournament.
We're here. Hey, what's up, fam? What's good? What's good, fam?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's good? What's poppin'?
Holy shit, that was intense, huh?
Jeez.
Yeah, the reason we're a little, we needed to take some time for that intro. We needed to revive Johnny. He's at that kind of stage in life, you're hitting 50 and your heart kind of gives out on you on the penalties.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We had to.
I was nervous. But I was full of confidence.
We revived Juanito,
and he's back.
And we're ready for the Moshpit Tournament.
Ready to roll. Ready to go. We're here. We're live. It's time for Chimi. It's time for Changa.
Yeah, maybe people don't know we're from Argentina.
Maybe
we're Latinos from Argentina, Argentinos. So we were suffering there for a bit. But
we're from
we
Buenos
survived.
Aires, Argentina. Actually, this weekend is a long weekend here. It's holidays. But we had, obviously, everyone who's on the team that's prepping this live stream was here. But then, 20 people from our studio came over to watch the game.
Yeah, it was intense.
So it was like our practice was mixed with the shouts and the screams and the this and the that. It was like you could feel the mosh pit heating up.
How's the chat? Type 1 if you're ready for some mosh pit action. Type 1. We're ready. It's been a long time coming. And in Web3, it's been 10 years waiting for the mosh pit to happen. 10 freaking decades. But we're here. We're finally here, guys. Look at this. Are you ready to jump in?
Ready
jump
to rock?
into the pit?
Ready to get it in the pit.
Get it in the pit. Exactly right, boys and girls. All right, let's do this. Let's get this going.
Let's jump in, amigos. Right. We're extremely happy to be here. It's a pleasure. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for joining. My name is Jonathan Ciafoni. I'm the general manager at Collider Craftworks. I'm excited to be here. Excited to be here with you guys. To my side,
I'm Daniel Gomez Cortez, the director of the studio. I wear a lot of hats, and today we're wearing some sunglasses.
Yes, sir.
Why not?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this, man. Are you ready? Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get it started. All right, let's go.
So we know not everyone might know who we are. Some people have come in for the first time to our stream and to our chat. So we'll go quickly on. We'll cover who Collider Craftworks is quickly, briefly, and let you guys know what's good with Collider Craftworks. Let's hit that full screen, Tomasetto.
Yeah, he's ready. Let's do this. So Collider Craftworks, who are we? What are we doing here? Are we like a game development studio? Actually, boys and girls, no, we're not. We're not a game development studio. At least we weren't a while ago. We're actually a studio that we actually started quite a while ago. You guys ready for story time? Around 6 years ago, there was a group of 5 people. We were just 5 people in a tiny little office in a little co-work, and we were here. I'm asking, and what's it called? Yeah, so we were just 5 people, and we had this vision. We had a dream. We're like, what if we could become the best team in the world
developing
at making characters for video games? So what if we could make the best characters of video games? We could get to work on the best games in the world. So we set out to do that. It seemed like the impossible mission. At that time, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We were just, a rowdy bunch of nobodies getting after it, believing in ourselves, believing in the future, believing anything can happen. Like most of you guys, I think that's kind of the energy and the spirit of Web3. It's fearless people who are out to defy the odds. Web3 is all about saying, yes, we can. We don't know what the fuck is going on here, but maybe a miracle will happen. We're going to swing for the fences. And it's been a rough year for all of us, but here we are swinging for the fences. No one's going to stop us. No one can tell us no, because we live by our own rules. We make our own luck. And it hasn't been the easiest year, but here we are. No one's stopping us now. All right, so as I was telling you guys, our studio got started back in 2016. Now we're actually a team of over 80 artists, engineers, programmers, developers, animators, and now we're almost over 80 people at the studio. We're having some issues with our pitch deck, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to keep on going. Next slide. And these are some of the projects we've actually worked on. So we worked on a big one that just came out recently was Gotham Knights. It was a beautiful working on that project. Some of the big projects we worked on is like Mortal Kombat. It's been a huge honor working on some of these titles that we were huge fans of since we were kids, and now we get to make, you know, freaking Spawn. On Injustice we did Hellboy. So this kind of set us on the path of being like, hey, let's make the best fucking characters in the world, and we're doing it. But what if we do it for the people? What if we get our skills and we make these characters for the people?
Power to the people.
Power to the people. Saying? Now you can own your own freaking characters.
Really?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
The same kind of avatars that are like now only available to these huge studios you just mentioned. Are you saying that? Yeah. Those same avatars.
It's not just for the big studios, the big corporations.
So you're saying
the empire.
We're basically putting that kind of tools,
that kind of quality,
in the hands of
your everyday Joe Schmo, just like you and me. And so that kind of set us on the path. That's where we were introduced to Web3 NFTs. We put our characters out there. We did our first NFT collection, and then that set us on the path to be like, okay, people need to be able to use these characters, and we want to start building games, but just not our own games. You guys know the Web3 promise, the metaverse promise, the online universe promise, everybody coming together in love and unity and in violence and action and fun to come together and do it and make it happen in the pit. So we made this game, the Moshpit. This is not the full game. This is just an early taste. We're building this game with you, our amazing community, with all the crazy freaks out there with NFA. We're building this with Degenheim. It's not just about us. We're also doing it with other communities. So we'll show you how that is happening.
Sir.
Check this out.
And what kind of a game is the Moshpit right now?
The Moshpit right now, at this stage of the game, it's a survival by waves, right? It's a horde mode survival game, and you have 20 minutes to rack up as many points as you can. But this is just a very early iteration of the game. There's going to be more. This is just a first taste to see if we're on the right track. We want to know if we're on the right track, so we're putting this out there to see if the public is jiving.
Love it.
All right.
So it's a third-person shooter, single-player
Let's keep on going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. That's exactly what I said. All right.
The Moshpit Tournament. So that's where we are right now with the game.
Exactly.
We're organizing our first Moshpit Tournament.
Exactly.
And we're also very proud to have been able to bring, like Daniel said, we're able to bring in partners who have been supporting our vision, supporting our journey, and have joined the Moshpit as partners, as challengers, as gamers. These Moshpit partners are 13 Journey, Neo Tokyo, the Who's Who, very important and well-respected communities, CyberKongs, Project Gojira, TTOO, NFA, Byte, Affinity Collective, Degenheim, Alphabot, Crypto Walkers, Go Art, and Continent. The collective Twitter audience of all of our partners are 1,323,000. And the collective Discord audience is 255,000. So we've basically been able to team up with a large group of partners and create this opportunity for all of us to be a part of this kind of engaging, fun, and rewarding experience.
But it's not just about like retweeting each other, and we have like some issues with the aircon. With the aircon, so sorry about the noise. But something that's really cool about this, guys, is that we're doing more than just doing, okay, we're going to do a partnership. We actually really believe in this kind of Web3 promise where communities can come together. So we set out to build champions for other communities that were going to be part of this. Neo Tokyo had been supporting us from day one. So that was one of the first ones. They got a bunch of ciphers, and we were like, all right, we're going to get Angie, and we're going to bring her to life. What would Angie look like? We went from like a 2D drawing to say, what would she look like as a next-gen character? Okay. Oh, so guys, it's raining outside. So if you guys hear a little bit of noise, it's just raining. It's raining men. All right. So let's show some other characters we've been working on. We also worked on Journey Club. This one was fun because they didn't want to kind of like start from a character that they already had. They wanted to do something fresh, something brand new. So we went kind of like this Master Chief kind of direction. It was really cool working closely with them, kind of thinking about their new identity and what it could possibly look like. Let's go to the next one.
Awesome.
Who else? Who else is joining the Moshpit? Project
Ooh,
Ojira.
this
One was really cool because basically these guys, it's like, obviously, as you guys know, Gen 1, it's pixel art, and we were like, how could we bring this to life that it still feels like something like a next gen character, but at the same time it retains that stylized look. So we went for something that's obviously very impregnated by the 80s. It's got that Turtle Ninja kind of vibe. All right, let's go to the next one. And last but not least, CyberKongs. This was also another huge challenge, starting from like a pixel art thing, saying how can we, retain the style, retain the energy, but bring something to life that actually could work in, something that you would imagine like a next-gen game. So it's been a huge amount of pleasure. This is actually really part of our mission, is to bring these communities together. So without further ado, let's talk about what's coming now.
Oh, yeah. So we've had fun bringing this kind of action and this kind of quality to our partners. We also have surprises for you, our audience, everyone who's on the stream today. So behind this Moshpit tournament, we have prizes for the gamers, we have prizes for spectators.
Yes,
and
sir.
for
That's some big prizes for spectators, huh?
This is today's prize pool.
Just today's.
For the audience. 1,000 USDT is part of the prize pool that everyone who's on the Twitch chat, everyone who's on today's stream will be able to participate in. How's it going to work? Let's see how it's going to work. So today we're going to be raffling, we're going to be giving out these USDT in the form of prizes. It's going to be very simple. We're going to ask questions on stream and flash questions, surprise questions that are just going to randomly drop in the chat. It's going to be very simple. The way it's a multiple choice format. And the way you can participate is by answering the letter of the answer, hashtag, and MT. Once you do that, the first person who gets the answer right will be eligible for that prize. So we're gonna have 3 prizes that we're gonna be dropping in the stream, and then random giveaways that are gonna be dropping in the chat.
Sounds good.
All right. Sounds good.
What does the chat think? What do you guys think about that? About those juicy prizes?
I think the chat's pumped. The chat's excited. Ay, ay, ay. All right, guys. And we're not going to be doing this solo. We've had the privilege and the honor of
and the pleasure
bringing a couple mad men, a couple crazy crusaders that are going to be the voices of this Moshpit tournament. It's with pride and pleasure that we introduce our casters. Let's see if we can bring them in. Who are they going to be?
Who's who?
We've got Hail Monkey Man.
Hail Monkey. He was with us on our...
the past.
Yeah. Hail Monkey was actually... We did a test stream. He freaking killed it.
He was amazing. Hail was basically the first caster, one of the first casters who was able to join us. And... he basically killed it, not only in our early conversations, but also in last Friday's stream, which was crazy, which was local and a lot of fun.
From production, they're telling us Bass is having some technical issues, but we'll just power through it, right?
Yeah,
I just want to keep on going.
I think we're good.
All right, let's keep on going.
Bass is back.
And with y'all, Hell Monkey and Bass. All right, guys. Oh, man, that was a close call, Bass. They told us you had dropped out for a second there.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened. My camera just completely cut for a second, but we're back, and we're ready for the tournament. Here. I'm ready to get this one going. I'm excited to be here, and honestly, it's an honor to be, joined by none other than Hale, who apparently killed it last Friday from what I've heard.
Oh, yeah, he was taking names.
What?
He was amazing.
They give me a lot of praise, but these were the guys that were running the show. But it was also all the awesome players that were able to just jump into the pits and be able to show us what's what and what's for. I mean, you guys, you put on one hell of a show. You put on one hell of a showcase when it comes to your awesome game. And honestly, I can't wait to be able to get back out there with this crazy guy in Bass.
Can I just say something? Hell Monkey repping Argentina. Thank you, brother. All right.
Appreciate it. A big part of that.
Did a good job. Good PKs.
All right.
All right, man. So why don't you guys take us through memory lane? Let's talk about what this Moshpit tournament has been all about. We went through the playoffs. We're about to jump into the main event. Tell us more.
Hey, you know what? How about we get there? So, everything that went down last week was you guys grinding it out to make it to this moment. There was a lot of you, but it was over the course of a week that we got to see everyone throw down. It went from all the way from that recent release to that Monday morning. So you were grinding and thriving, but ultimately only 25 of you could survive to get to this moment. But let's check out how much grinding you really did as we look into that data. Bass, I mean, these guys, they've put in the work. 11,000 matches were played going into this. I mean, they were averaging over 30 matches a player, 1,000 hours of game time. That's more than I've been able to game over the course of the last couple of years. And they were able to put it into this 1 week of play. And nearly 300 players to be able to make it happen. That's a lot of people.
And it's a lot of people, and now it's dwindling in numbers, as we've only got our top 25 here participating today, and that's just the beginning of this one. The more days that we go into this tournament, the less people that are going to be available to play, and that's for a reason, with thousands of dollars on the line and NFTs for not just the community, but the players involved as well. There is a lot that these guys are playing for, and for a good reason. Again, this game was by the help of a lot of you guys at home to make sure that this actually came to fruition. And now that we have gotten here to the Moshpit Tournament, we want to make sure that you guys have a chance to play for some very serious prizes. Like we said, over 1,000 played this week with over 200 players, nearly 300 total. But now we've got our top 25 here today, Hale. It feels like this one's going to get cutthroat, and that's putting it very, very timidly.
Oh, yeah, and there was a lot of points that were being just charred at. We're going to be able to check out the top 25 that did, in fact, make it here today. We got a case of Big Brain Poppy in that top 5 Flash tournament that happened just 1 week ago. But the floor, as you see the extension of all of these total points, started way down at the 22,000 mark as we got to see the Jackal really bring up the rear with a new version, a new style to the pits. Hopefully we'll be able to see some of these points skyrocket and be able to spike even harder. But I'm talking about a new version. Have you guys not downloaded it? Well, you're missing out. So let's check it out. The new Moshpit. It's got a new weapon. It's got that heavy machine gun. It's got new enemies. It's got Cyber Kong's another champion that's going out there. And you know, I want to ask you, Danny, what was the focus for all these changes to be able to go into this newest version of the Moshpit?
Yeah, at the core of this, as I was telling you guys, we really want to develop this with the community. You know, this game is going to be development for the next couple of years, and there's a lot of things that we know we can improve on and really create a great product if we're kind of developing it with the community. So right away we started getting some feedback as far as the gameplay, and one of the big ones was optimization. So we wanted this to feel as professional as possible for the finals, so we really focused on optimizing the game, getting the frame rate, the FPS at least from 50 to 60 in high graphic quality mode. So you know, that was our big focus, and then bringing in some other champions. We have some fun Easter eggs. When you die, the bots start doing some sexy dances and getting the groove on. So we were able to get some fun stuff in there, but the main focus is really performance, and yeah, we were able to get it done. Actually, we got some feedback that it was too difficult, so last minute we changed it, we uploaded some things, and we did it like literally a couple hours before this final. So yeah, we're just trying to react to what the players are telling us. And here we are.
Well, you guys are way more forgiving than I would have been. If it's too difficult, I would just say, get good, gamers. Come on. That's what you're supposed to do.
Bring it on.
Well, we did increase the difficulty. We did leave it a little higher than it was. So, all right.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. And we already have the... We have the stage set. Let's talk about the main event, Bass. Take Bass or Hale. Take us there. Take us to what this main event is all going to be about. Let's jump into the format.
Well, format for this one's going to be a 3-day event. Like we said, 25 challengers are going to be coming into this event here today on Friday, but that's going to very quickly dwindle. Top 15 are going to be able to make it to the next day, plus we're going to have a life raft, which we're going to talk about a little bit later into this one, which is going to be a 16th player that ends up making it into day 2. From day 2, we then dwindle it again to our top 8, and then from our top 8, we are going to crown our top 3 champions. All 3 of them are going to be walking away with a decent amount of prizes, but like we said, it's cutthroat. You cannot mess around. With only 3 games that you can play throughout the day, it's going to be really difficult. And again, like you guys said, the game was already difficult to start off with, and even though there's been some tweaks here and there, it's the same thing as before. If you don't do well, sorry, that's all you got. You've got 3 chances, and if you can't get it done, maybe you're going to have to just try again in the next tournament. Like we said, the life jacket here, with the 10 players that are going to be eliminated, one of them is going to get a community life jacket in order to make it into day 2. And Hale, you and I were talking about this one. This is going to be rather interesting because we don't really know who's going to get selected for this. We've got some theories. Maybe it'll go to a player who just barely missed out and people are thinking, oh, they deserve another chance. Or this could just go to anybody that's a fan favorite at this point. We really just kind of have to wait and see what's going to happen at the end of day 1.
Communities might come in and support their players, right? Who knows?
Yeah, honestly, we got to see a whole lot of players that did show up, and of course, all of you right now that are watching, you have a voice. Is it going to be that 16th guy that barely didn't make the mark, or is it going to be, you know, that dud that could be the stud of day number 2? Maybe he just didn't have his best 3 games. Johnny, why don't you tell us a little bit? How will they be able to get that life jacket if they're one of the bottom 10?
All right. So it's actually gonna be pretty simple. At the end of our stream, we're gonna be posting a poll on Twitter where all of you guys are going to be able to vote for your favorite player coming from the 10 eliminated ones, and you'll be able to bring one of those soon to be dead back to life and into day 2 of this Moshpit Tournament. So guys, stay tuned, get ready. There's a lot of fun, there's a lot of opportunities here, and there's a lot of prizes to be won, not only by players, but also by you, our spectators. There we go.
Of course, if you guys didn't remember what Bass was able to run through before, yes, they make it to day number 2. That's all fine and dandy, but more than 50% of them will be wiped out from day 2 to day 3. 16 will go down to your elite 8, and then in day 3, those 8 will battle it out. Yes, it's indirect, but it's about getting the most amount of points, and something that me and Bass were actually talking about, those best scores we got to see of those top 25, well, that was when you could play it perfect, be able to play your more than 30 matches per player, but you only get to have 3 on the day. So as we look at day number 3 as well, there's gonna be those top 3 big prizes that'll go to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and right around the corner, those things are looking pretty snazzy, to be honest. But before we get to what those prizes are, let's check out those top 25. Who was able to make it here in the first place? Ooh. And this is your grouping. Johnny, Danny, I need to know who out here stands out. Who's some of the OGs that have been coming in from all these communities that are able to participate today and this weekend?
Amazing. Well, from our community, from Collider Graphics, we've got a couple OGs. We've got Debozy, we've got the Jackal, we've got Colors. And then we've got people coming in from other communities. We've got Catching Man, who's been basically killing it and really hustling to get into the top 25. We've got El Stabilo, who's coming from NFA. We've got, who else do we have? We have Microbe, who's coming from Degenheim. We basically have representatives from different communities, from most of our partner communities.
The Beans is from Journey. Yeah, the Beans is probably from Neo Tokyo, I'm guessing, from this PFP, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so lots of communities being represented, which is really cool. Again, this was our vision kind of coming into this. We really wanted to make this about communities coming together, battling it out, having some good times. And here we are. Oh, Kisia's from Journey.
Kisia's from Journey. Yeah, totally.
Okay, so what's next?
What about, what are these 25 players battling it out for, guys? What are they here for? What's this all about?
For honor.
For glory.
For the coin.
For the dinero.
Yeah.
A little bit of dinero will go a long way, but even in this bear market, cool things are still going to be found by our awesome competitors. If you don't quite make it all the way to that top 15 or 16 going to day number 2, well, you're still guaranteed a few extra prizes. 21 through 25 will get 1 Cypher airdrop NFT, and 11 through 20, they're going to get a couple of those. And guess what? If you do make it to day number 3, somewhere in that range of that 4 through 8 are going to be able to get 3 Cypher airdrop NFTs. And that, of course, comes through so many different sponsors, as well as people and collaboratives and partners that have been able to work with this as well, which is really cool because it's basically reciprocation of communities all working to each other. But, you know, these are the losers. This is 4 through 25. You want to see your top 3. So let's go check out the big one. Let's check out 3rd place that's coming up, because this is some of the freshest stuff I've ever seen. Bass, we have, this looks just so sick, and this is just 3rd.
That's amazing.
This is just 3rd place. And the best part about this, I think this is the part that we were talking about a little bit behind the scenes, you and I, Hale, where we were really excited, not just because of the fact that you do get 3,000 USDT, that you get the 3 NFTs, but the fact that you not only get this NFT helmet, but it's going to have your name on it. For the rest of this NFT's life, if you are able to win this prize, it's ingrained right on the front of that thing. No matter where it goes, no matter whose hands it stays in, your name will stay on it for the rest of its history. And the cool thing about it is, this is just the third place prize. We've also got a second place prize here as well, which is going to look pretty similar. It's another helmet, but it's even more money and even more NFTs. 1,500 USDT, 5 NFTs, and, well, with Silver Helmet as well. And, hey, listen, I'm not going to steal your thunder on this one. Why don't you introduce what is our first place, our grand prize here for the Moshpit Tournament?
Look, I know if you like bronze, if you like silver, you're gonna love gold. First place, baby, 4,000 USDT, 10 NFTs, and of course, the Moshpit Tournament Golden Helmet NFT. This thing branded by all the partners that are working in collaboration with Collider Craftworks, as well as the big old Moshpit Tournament logo right in the front. It says #1 because that's gonna be the #1 chimichanga that comes out of the pit. They're gonna be extra saucy, and of course, all 3 of these helmets will be ingrained with your name and the date that you're able to keep it. So you basically build a legacy from just being a badass. But you know what? That's it. That's our prizes. We are getting ready to rock and roll. The Moshpit Tournament is all that's left in front of us. Johnny, Danny, you guys have set up something fantastic, and I think we're ready for it.
All right. We're all pumped. We're excited. But you guys know what? We've got more. Before we give our audience, before we give our communities more, we gotta stop, we gotta make a pause, we gotta jump onto an ad break.
We need to cool down a bit.
But guess what?
We're really warmed up here.
We'll be right back, and we've got a surprise for you, because you guys are gonna be meeting a couple of these 25 finalists.
A couple of the finalists are coming in to say hi.
They're coming in more to say hi. They're
Pre-game, see how nervous they are.
Yeah, we're gonna pick their brains. Hail Monkey Man and Bass are gonna interview them. We're going to have a live interview with a couple of our challengers. So stick with us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. See you very soon, amigos. Time for Chimichanga. Be right back.
I'm not gonna wait here like there must be a way I can make you see that if we fell in love, you would be so sweet. But when it's you and me, nobody can bring us down, bring us down, 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 can bring us down.
y gatos.
Here we are back in the Moshpit Tournament. And like we said, we have a surprise for y'all. We've got a couple challengers that we're going to interview. It seems like one of them hasn't been able to make it. His stream isn't coming through. But we have one of them who did. And we'll jump in
roll with the
fireside chat with someone who is a backbone in our community of Collider Craftworks, a representative not only of the Moshpit Tournament 25 finalists, but also of our Cypher community, an OG within our ranks. What's
Oh
his
yeah,
name,
and we got
Tomasetto?
we got someone wrong on the community thing. El Stabilo?
El Stabilo. Yeah. El Stabilo is from TTOO and not from NFA.
Repping TTOO.
Yeah.
El Stabilo killing it out there.
We've
Who
got
else?
pretty
Did we
close
get
bonds
somebody-
with
I
both
think we-
projects, so sometimes we mix them up.
Yeah. There's a lot of love,
with
so
Johnny
you know.
and Dr. JPEG, but we know it's not the same thing. Even though for us it sometimes feels
Yeah.
like fam. But yeah, shout out to El Stabilo. He's coming from TTOO.
Who else? I think we got somebody else.
And then it seems like we didn't mention Catching Man. I thought I did, but
God
Catching
damn it,
Man
Jonathan.
is an OG within our community.
dude, how dare you?
We've got
Catching Man, we're
production
sorry
there
about
is
that,
trying
man.
to sort everything out to get these guys.
Yeah, and I've got to tell you something, guys. It doesn't look like it.
It
but
seems like they're
sometimes-
both online. Let's
Sometimes
do
we
this.
get a little bit nervous, and so we screw things up. We're not perfect. We're gonna keep on working on it day after day, and one day we will do the perfect stream. That day is
Wow.
not today, but I think it's gonna be a pretty good stream. We're gonna give it our best freaking shot. What we can't promise is what we always do as good as we possibly can. We've been working at this for like 3 days straight, right, Johnny? Right?
Yeah.
We've been like 3 days.
Yeah, we've been preparing
just
this
trying to
for
get this everything working.
long weeks.
All right, guys, let's do it.
almost.
You guys should see this. We have like 10 people,
engineers.
engineers. It looks like they're sending a rocket to the moon back there.
That's
You
basically
would-
what
you
we're
would-
trying to do for you guys.
You would think they're about to cure cancer. But sometimes, guys, technology worldwide, these kind of streams, like you have no idea the kind of shenanigans that happen. But yeah, we're gonna work it out. We're just gonna chill here while we get while we open some cervezas to make sure we stay calm and carry on.
Salud. And hey guys,
Are you guys enjoying this? Chat. How you guys like the setup? It's pretty cool, no? Oh yeah, baby. Here we are.
No way.
You caught me midway. Oh my goodness.
Hey
The
guys,
challengers are
Right, so
here.
who's who?
All right. Yeah, that's what I kind of want to know. I want to know who is who when we go into this this awesome interview. And of course, thank you guys for being patient. It sounds like there's rain outside, but that's really just you guys cheering in the chat. So I'm appreciative of you guys being that loud. We can hear you from all the way across the production. So all right, so we can actually do a short introduction. Can both of you guys hear me? By the way, be able to hear us on stream?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So why don't you introduce yourselves? We'll start from the furthest left and we'll work our way over. What's your name? Who you repping? And how you doing today? Yeah.
How's it going? I'm Daydream. I'm big NFT guy. I'm the co-founder of Trash Demons NFT, my own project. I made it with my brother. Still building out, and I am gaming staff and a Twitch streamer for Nifty Nuggets. Another very popular NFT, which I would recommend. I'm a big Collider fan, and been here from day one, minting, and just all sorts of things gaming. I'm very excited to get into this. I make music, I play video games. Just kind of a very creative person. I'm just super excited, super stoked.
Let's go,
Awesome.
Daydream.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. Also, hey, so give us your introduction as well. Tell us your name, what you're repping, where you're coming from, what you like to do, and I guess how excited you are for the tournament.
Well, hello, I'm Kuchingman. I'm actually from the Collider community. I'm HO's favorite Discord member. Oh, can I shout out people in this part? Is that
Of
okay?
course.
Go ahead.
I got a few people I want to shout out. I want to shout out my good-looking grandma. In case Daniel needs a wife, she's available, Daniel, just so you know.
Thank you.
I want to shout out my mom. Hopefully she made it. I want to shout out K-Dude. He actually didn't make it to the tournament. We don't like each other. We're like nemesis. I hate that guy.
Wow. Okay. All right. So some good rivalries building up then. Okay. So glad to honestly have both of you here. We were thinking that there was gonna be a third, but hey, we got Daydream and we got Catching Man. So Daydream, get into the nitty-gritty of this competition. I get to see your top 5 in this 25. It looks like you were able to really find a formula to the madness. I need to know the most recent kind of update to the game. It happened all of 2 days before everything changed up. Do you think you're going to be able to output to those kind of going into this 3-day main event? How confident are you for this competition?
I'm pretty confident, honestly. I've been putting in a lot of hours the last couple of days playing on the new version. Great updates. The only thing for the old version was I was getting bottlenecked by FPS, but they really optimized it and made it like super good. So if anything, it's really like enhanced my ability and made me more confident. I'm pretty confident in my abilities for the tournament, and just it's going to be about consistency. Obviously, just we see our peaks, but you don't know every game like what are really people going to get in 3 games, and so that's just kind of where you decide, like, are you going to go for full speed, are you going to go for full safety and make sure that you don't die. I'm going to make sure I get a good score in my first couple games, and then if it's necessary, I'm going to ball out. But it's just keep it as consistent as possible, as cool as possible, and I'm pretty confident in my ability to go through these days.
Nice. I like it. Sounds like confidence is going to be kind of key here today in order for either one of you guys to make it through. So, not necessarily asking you guys to give away all of your strategies going into this one, but considering the fact that, like you said, you only get 3 chances, and that's pretty much all, what are you guys doing here to make sure that you're not necessarily wasting any of your opportunities? Are there any strategies you're going to implement to maybe place a little bit safer? We'll start off with you, Day, and then we'll go to Pushki afterwards.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna be playing a bit safer. Just there's some things I was going for full score. I wasn't really caring if I died, But a lot of the practice came into just trying to be consistent in rounds and just making sure that I'm like safe and can get good quality scores. So yeah, it's gonna be an element of safety for sure. You don't want to, things can kind of tumble. Like you go down first round and like with a really bad score, you only have 2 games and you're looking down the leaderboard. It's it could be scary. It could get to you, but just playing safe, playing a little bit drawn back. There's some things you can't control, right? Like there's rockets. If you guys have played it, there's many elements that you can't control. So it's just about putting yourself in as best possible chance as you can.
Now to our second
If I
player.
can add to that.
Catching.
I just want to tell my tactic. It's a bit different. All these good players, they usually just take the AR and then the sniper and the RPG. From what I've gotten over the Discord, my tactic is way different. In the new update, they added the LMG, if you guys have played it, and it's super good because you don't actually have to aim that well. So I will just kind of rely on the RNG of hitting. I mean, the shots hitting themselves, of course. I'm not gonna hit anything. I'm not aiming for a good place. I'm honestly just aiming for the community to vote me back in and then losing tomorrow. That's my plan.
So your goal is like you don't even want to make top 15. Your entire goal here is just to make sure you get the life raft. Am I getting that right?
I'm not winning this. I'm not gonna lie. I've played a few times today. It's not looking too good. Like, I'll try my best.
Hey, you know what, Catchy Man? That is a strat and a half. I love it. You know what? If you guys are already planning to give your votes to someone, Catchy Man has already started their campaign. Make sure that you have them in your hearts for
Guys,
doing
I
this.
dressed up into a Batman costume for you. It's my little brother's. I don't even have anything on my back. It doesn't even fit, guys. Please, vote me in. Please, guys. I beg you, please.
You're doing the most with this interview. I gotta appreciate it. This is great.
Dark Knight is the dark horse of the tournament, playing for that life jacket vote. You both, you're coming in hot. One of you is going for the top, and one is going for maybe day 2 and losing. But you know what? Both of you are gonna have a great time. I need to know before you guys go, Daydream, you came in at number 5. Do you think you got enough to be able to knock off that number 1? Big Brain Poppy is looking pretty stellar, and after that, Catching Man, you're gonna tell me whether or not you at least, maybe squeak into number 15, number 16. But what do you say, Daydream? Can you beat Big Poppy?
I can't control what he does, but I can control what I do. I'm just gonna be playing as hard as I can, and sticking to what I've learned, what I've attempted throughout this week of playoffs. He's a great competitor, and I guess it's gonna speak for itself. I'm just gonna put as much as I can in. Don't bother looking at the scores. It is what it is. Just keep it just as hard as I can. I think there's totally a shot.
Being a professional.
I've been up there.
Yeah. Hey. You know what? I can't wait to be able to see it. Catching Man, are you really just, you're not going to take a day two? Look, I believe in you to make it and also to get that thing over your head. I don't know if you can, but maybe give it another try to be able to get the Batman suit.
Well, you see, I'll try, and if it doesn't work, I hope I'll get the community life jacket, or I'll maybe get some girls' phone numbers. So, with this cool outfit, I don't think any girl could resist me, to be honest. But to be honest, how many ladies are in the Web3 community? So,
You know what? If it's not for the gals, it's for the guys too. But you know what? Both of you are gonna do a great job today. I feel it in my bones. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're not gonna have you delay or stall any further. We're gonna be seeing you guys in the pit momentarily. Thank you so much for joining us here in the booth.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Right.
It's been a pleasure.
Of course.
Good luck.
Well, Bass, we got to see a couple, one with a killer mentality and one with a, well, I hope I survive, but mentality. It works out either way, but this is our 25, Bass, and we're just about ready and set to go. We've seen where they kind of placed in, I guess, that early interim, but it's a new version, new game, and just like Catchy Man was talking about, there's new strats. So do you think we're going to see like a variance of maybe some of the same?
I think that there is going to be a, differing amongst all of the players here. Like we heard, some of them are going to be really aggressive within this first game. Again, like we said, we've got 3 total rounds here, each of them being 20 minutes at maximum. But again, we say at maximum, so that's why I mean that some of them might get aggressive in this first round, try to go for the speedrun approach, get through as many rounds as you can rather than going for consistency. The only issue with that is you die, you die. You got to wait till the second round. You don't get another chance here in the first round. And with only round being the cap for the night, you got to be pretty careful. And I think that's the big thing we got to remind most of our competitors here is that, yeah, new strategies, not a bad idea. If you're going to use them, though, you got to do it here on day one. If you got confidence to make yourself get into, let's say, the top 10 and you mess up a game or two, okay, you can still sneak into that top 15. Come tomorrow, though, where it is our top 16 only and then our top 8 on Sunday, you can't really afford to make those mistakes. You can't really afford to make those risks. So if you want to take risks, hell, today's the day. This is basically your only option, your only time that you can do so.
Yeah, you basically have 2 extra lives going into today, but you still need to be able to perform at your best, and we don't know the numbers that these guys are going to be able to produce, especially with just 48 hours of running the new version. But I know 2 guys, maybe a couple of Poombas, that'll be able to guide us the right direction. Danny, Johnny, how are we looking? Is production ready to go? Are our players ready to go to get into the pit? Maybe dead. Okay, so we actually may be just waiting for a moment. Okay, so as soon as everything is ready to go, we're going to be doing a countdown, and all of our players are going to be setting up. We're going to have 25 separate, I guess, outlooks, POVs to be able to run it into. Again, in case you have just joined us for the first time, first off, welcome. It's Collider Craftworks. These guys are an awesome studio of more than 80+ people that have been able to design and, of course, tune a wonderful new game that is a third-person horde mode survival. You get 1 life, you get 20 minutes, and you have to be able to get through as many of these waves as possible. And I need to know, Bass, have you played a lot of horde survival shooters? I think that one of the ones that I did in my earliest in terms of gaming was Gears of War, and this has kind of even more franticness than that game.
Yeah, this game feels like there's a lot built behind it here. It feels like they've taken a lot of elements of other games and made sure to sort of implement them to the best of their degrees. It feels like for horde shooters like this, you really do have to have a lot of practice. I feel like that's kind of one of the biggest things. And you'll even see that with some of the players who have had those, again, 1,000 hours amongst our entire community is a lot. It's over 100 played per day, basically, within the last week. And so for a lot of these guys, they've memorized the patterns. They've tried to figure out where the enemies are going to come from, where they're going to have to try and fight, and it does feel like they're going to be rather prepared for that. So you're going to see that a lot today. There's a lot of people who have sort of studied the game, if you will. Because again, the Moshpit, it may be relatively new, but that doesn't mean that you can't put in the hours to get prepared for this one. So we're gonna have to see what it's like. But again, it does kind of feel like, as much as we have looked at that top 25 and really studied who is going to be doing what here on the day, you never really know. It kind of feels like one of these things where, as much as these guys have had time and time again to practice over and over, consistency is going to reign supreme here today. So I'm excited for this one. Chat, I also got to ask you guys how you guys are feeling about this one, not just, you know, for the actual event, but who you think's coming out on top. Real quick, to just run down our top 5 here. Big Brain Poppy in first, Raze in second, Greedy for Win in third, Kiza in fourth, and then Daydream in fifth. Those are our top 5. I want to hear who you guys think is actually coming out number 1 here on this day. Not necessarily for the weekend, but if you got a prediction, throw it in chat. Let us know. Who do you think is coming home with a trophy, at least for day number 1?
Daydream seemed very reserved about not calling out being able to beat Big Brain Poppy. And that's because on that last Friday, a week ago, we had a Flash competition. They were in the top 5. They got 41,000 points on the previous build before the most recent, I guess the 2.0 version of what we're rocking into the Mosh Pit. But this is a harder difficulty. The bosses have been ramped up, and I did like what Catching Man was talking about when it comes to different strats and different uses of the weapons. We will have the LMG that will be rocking in. If you don't have great aim, hey, no aim, doesn't matter. You can be able to still get some good shots and a lot of power damage. If you like rocket launchers, those are going to spawn in the middle of the pit. If you like the sniper to AR combo, that can work as well. I saw someone last week that was actually going up to the top ring level, and they were getting that automatic shotgun, and they were just mowing down some precision shots into that big boss. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a composition or a compilation of all that as well. But it does seem that we've been able to burn a little bit of that extra oil, and I think the fire is well lit. Production, Johnny, Danny, are you guys ready to go? I'm waiting for your countdown. These players are as well. We got 25 challengers ready to hit the pit. All right, I think that they are. So, all right, I think they're waiting on us, Bass. So let's have it happen. So we're gonna go 3, 2, 1. Let's hit the pit. Let's get the Moshpit Tournament underway and good to go. We're going to be doing these in groups of 5. All these guys are going to be choosing their champion, their faction, and more. And I can't wait to see which ones they choose. There's 20 minutes on the clock, and we're going to be getting down into the pit here in a moment. I need to know, Bass, you've been able to see them from what designs we got. Do you have a favorite for your factions or the champions we've seen?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's got to be Cyberkong. I feel like that's by far the one that I have had the most affinity to, just due to the fact of just straight up looks. Like, it's such a fascinating design to the entire thing. It has been really interesting to see them as the champion. But again, it also kind of feels like it's all based on what you feel the most comfortable with, what you feel like you're going to be to operate with far. And well, speaking of operations, it looks like we've gotten underway here. El Stabilo going to be just one to actually hit the mid and already grab out the gate. This is kind of what we're going to see. A lot of these guys, like I said, preparing the doors, knowing which gates these guys are going to come out of, and use to basically immediately snap onto them, get themselves started in the best way possible. Like you and I said, it's not necessarily about just going out here to start off the day, but just getting warm and being able to give yourself the longest chance here to get through your entire tournament.
Yeah, and a big thing that we've been able to see is control of the middle of the pit, and then going in and being able to operate just so evenly and work way through. They don't always spawn the same way. You're going to be able to use kind of audio comms and be able to hear that from different angles, and so you have to respond, or else you're going to let that wave kind of encounter you for too long. Something that I was talking to the dev whenever we were looking at what difficulty level, what actually happens into the pit, what jumps into the pit. It's 2x2 for the little bit that you'll have those 2 or 3 mobs at a time that are sitting in those waves, and for interaction, it's all good. But you're gonna see these different factions that they actually get swarmed, and sometimes that can happen, especially the Chosen. But for the first 5 waves, we through all our major factions, and then you will see a boss wave. We'll see a big measuring whenever we get to wave number 6. So I'm curious to how hard that now has become, but a lot of our players, for the first couple of minutes already here, Bass, they move through waves 2 and 3 pretty quick, and we're just trying how everyone is slowly stacking up with each other.
And I mean, honestly, it's not surprising to see some of our front runners already showing themselves here. Raze making the 3rd round very not quite yet. Tokyo feels like these guys are going to be really happy with the performance that Race has put out so far. But we got a long way here with 20 minutes on the clock and only half minutes gone at this. Like a lot of you can't get too excited for yet. And I am a little bit excited to be a bit of finding some of the competition in terms of time, but a bit ahead of them with Wave. You can see in the top left, DZ finds themselves just finishing now with about 70 on the clock. Meanwhile, Big Brain Poppy, they're already going through Wave 3, and they've only gotten 2 off their clock. Again, where I talk about a lot of speed running strategy, this one is that you're not necessarily trying to your enemies, you're just trying to go as quickly as you can, trying to be as efficient as possible, because again, these rounds completely count. So, from a background of a couple other games, some arena shooters, some battle royale. A lot of you will see in battle royales is, best 5 out of 6 games. You have 6 total games, get one to, out with and drop it off. None of that here. For the mosh pit, it is do or die. Every single movement you make, every single shot you hit is going to count. So for these, be aware of that. Be prepared that if you do make a mistake, could be the last one you make for the round. Like we've said, we're going to continue to emphasize how important every single one of these rounds are going to be. And for the first round so far, it doesn't look like anybody's going down here. Hale feels like so far the movement's been pretty standard to what we expected.
Yeah, and main control of the middle of the pit is huge. We're on the POV right now of D Bozy, who is rocking and rolling. They're constantly reloading and making sure to top off their HP with those healing pods as they take over the middle and keep everyone at bay. Remember, D is the community as well as having a lot of experience into this game as they were in that top 5 Flash tournament last Friday. But we go to Micro B. Some of you have been waiting to see Micro B, one of our few rad kids supporters for this faction. They have a rocket launcher in the middle, which is one of 3 special weapons, kind of those heavy weapons, and they're already working on the Chosen faction. These are fanatics that are chasing them down. They will AoE explode, and that can cause a lot of damage. They're going to use that big rocket launcher to clear this wave very quickly as the War Priest will fall, and so it is going to be up to this boss wave. They're going to go into this upper Canix box. They're going to use this rocket launcher early, and they're already emoting on him, saying they got this one. They're dancing, but I wonder if they're going to be dancing after they get a little bit of this extra damage. They're going to move over to the sniper rifle. They get a massive amount of that HP bar gone, 50% already. And they're trying to work their way through this first boss as quickly as they can. Best, this is some efficient work. B is trying to sting as quickly as they can.
I think this is a clever strategy as well. Something that you can see from the map here, it's relatively open. Yes, there is layering. There is a upper ring and a lower ring here. But one thing that you don't necessarily see a lot of is just solid cover. So any cover you can find, using those boxes to sort of shield you from the bosses from the onslaught of pressure that's going to go against you is absolutely going to be key. And I think it's a really interesting strategy that I'm feeling we're going to see implemented as we get the day going here. So, yeah, checking in with some other players here. Worst Enemy is going to find themselves moving on to wave number 7. And wave 7, like you said, after wave 6 with a boss, this is when we start to ramp up the difficulty a little bit. You can already see damage being done against our player here, and that is not going to be a fun thing to deal with. Because, again, you're not regenerating health. You're going to have to pick it back up. So if you want to try and stay away from enemies, want to try and use that top ring, you got to make sure you're not getting hit no matter the cost here. And, well, I haven't necessarily gotten 2 hits so far. 5 minutes or so off the clock, and the wave officially completed. We're going to start seeing guys get into the double digits real soon here, Hale. And like we talked about before, once you get past that 6th wave, once you get past the first boss and really into the upper waves here of the mosh pit, that's when stuff gets difficult, or I guess not quite yet. Wave 8 complete with a headshot from the sniper, and it feels like players still pretty confident here in our first round.
And this is Alex, who is actually, I think, repping Journey. And what's interesting, too, something that I've seen on the inside of those Canix boxes, they've added the Hall of Fame for players that have been able to get into that upper echelon of top scores. So very, very cool to be able to see kind of the designs that can really be implemented going into this total tournament. But it's going to be now Alex that's trying to be able to keep themselves topped up as they're being swarmed here into wave number 9. They're trying to grind their way out to that next boss. Worst Enemy, we go back over to them. They're on the upper ring. They're going to make sure that they are topped off into that shotgun. So, or actually, that's the LMG. So they're going to have as much damage as they possibly can. And on the other side, with keeping composite into this group, Alex is incurring a lot of damage, but they are able to make use of that dash. They will find a quick healing pod, and that's key. If you are starting to take a lot of damage from a lot of enemies, and maybe they are very close quarters combat, you have to stay topped up as well as nearby to those respawns. Be them on the upper Canex boxes, which can give you about 50%, or to the lower ones that give you about 20 to 25%. So less than 13 minutes to go, relatively speaking, between most of our competitors. And we're all the way on Adam. D-Bozy, though! D-Bozy will go down early here in round number 1. They went through 7 waves and only got 13,000 points.
Well, we're starting to see that, like we said, is once you get past that 6th wave, once you get past the boss, that's when things start to ramp up. And for certain players, they can, withstand the heat. But if you can't, you're going to have to get out of the kitchen and maybe try to cook a dish later on in the night. That's all for round 1 there for D-Bozy, like you said. But we're not quite done yet with everybody. Worst Enemy, we check back in on them. Had some issues with their health a little while ago, but it seems like they're all topped off and have got the ammunition as well as the weapons to work with now. Check it in, though. We're starting to see more and more players dropping like flies here. Snake with a, listen, we're gonna be brutally honest here on the stream today with a abysmal round number 1 here, only making wave number 5, even making it to the boss here, Hale. And like we said, this is not a good place to be dropping off. Round number 1 is where people are gonna really start to be warming up. You have a bad round number 1, you're playing catch up the rest of the day.
Well, the good news is this is not a cumulative score. It's best score, and I can very much tell just based on the scoring perimeter in the sheet, Snake died probably to a Fnatic. They were probably swarmed. They didn't see him out of the corner of their eye, and if it's wave 5, that's when the Chosen are going out there. There's a lot of explosions all happening, and so they were either accidentally tracked down by a few too many fiends that definitely got them with the AoE explosions, or maybe they were found by the War Priest and just a nice little hop headshot. But less than 12 minutes to go. Worst Enemy, we are grinding with them. They are at 16,000 points, a very nice score that currently beats the 2 that have died between D-Bozy as well as Snake, and everyone up into this particular range. I think that we have this hyper movement for a lot of these players, and so these mobs are starting to really jump up to them. I like this upper area that they're playing from. Worst Enemy is trying to make use of some good safety. That was something that Catchy Man said. It's either speed or safety, and right now Worst Enemy is trying to catch their breath.
And the big thing here, again, I've talked about this before, being able to sort of, what's the word here, bottleneck a lot of your enemies to use cover. I talked about how the boxes earlier were going to be really valuable for that, but this upper ring going to be the same sort of thing. You can't get shot from below, and if an enemy does want to get an angle on you, they basically have to get up to the 2nd ring or find a rather interesting angle. Speaking of interesting angles here, we thought that maybe X-Borg would be okay, but all of a sudden, a couple of players rushing them here, the Fanatics getting all over them, and they got to drop down. Not a lot of health on them. They're going to rush to try and find some, but more shots will be found. Good thing, a little bit of a restock very quickly dropped away. Like we said, this is why the bosses are difficult, and this is why the later rounds are going to be difficult. It's not like you're going to all of a sudden just drop, but as soon as you do see your health start going, that might be where you go as well. Great's going to be one of the players to go out here in round number 1. They also do not find themselves the, double digits for their waves, but they still get 16,000 points. And again, look at the difference here. Not even double the waves of the player that we said fell out at 5 waves here, but over triple their points. This is why it's valuable to just stay alive. Not necessarily do too much, but just stay in the game.
Yeah, repping that Neo Tokyo, which we haven't seen a whole lot of. I know Big Brain Poppy and Gang are kind of looking to have that champion as themselves. It's one of my favorite champions in the entirety of this, and right now it is Worst Enemy who is working against their 2nd version of the Chosen. If they can be able to get through all these Fanatics that keep hopping up, which they've really been able to isolate where they are advancing as they have that tire jump to be able to get onto that 2nd level and into that electrical trap, which can kill them for you, then it's a good safety perimeter. So Worst Enemy is playing very smart, very safe, trying to make sure that they just funnel all of the mobs into one position before the boss will end up spawning in. We're beyond the 10-minute mark, though, as we're actually on the steeper edge of it. If you guys want to be able to see what our current leaderboard looks like, let's pull that one up. Let's see what our top 15 are looking like as best as we can. Xberg Flowy, who's just gotten through wave 13, they're at 28,000 points. That is the most we've seen. They were in trouble before Bass, but this is a player that is really grinding.
Yeah, and the big thing as well is not just the fact that they have found themselves through Wave 13, but it's also the fact they've gone through 2 bosses here. They now get a little bit of reprieve, waiting a little while before they end up facing their next boss, and that just gives them some time to rack it up. Speaking of time, though, over 10 minutes off the clock, 8 left here for Xborg and the rest of the players competing here in round number 1. So at this point, you gotta try and just put the pedal to the metal here. Try and get through as many waves as you can and really stack up those points, because we've seen a couple of players drop off, and unfortunately for the players that have dropped off, now all they can really do is sit and wait. Speaking of sit and wait here, I've been waiting to see this player for a little while. Big Brain Poppy, the #1 player coming out of our qualification rounds now, have found themselves with a very solid round number 1 as well. Wave 14. I think this is the furthest we have seen any player get so far from the POVs that we've gone through, and now they're done with Wave 14 too. 31,000 total score. I think that's the first 3-0 we've seen from any player.
Yeah, this is the big man at the top, and they're continuing to try and drive that leading edge of the blade of the spear, cut through this competition, and they're putting a lot of damage downfield. They're going to be caught by a bruiser as the hypers do come through, but they're going to be able to get at least a couple of shots into them, and they had a huge wave that spawned out of gate number 1 there to take as many of those big heavies out as possible. Less than 7 minutes to go, 31K. That may be enough literally on the day to get them through to day number 2, but they continue to be, you can see what the they have everything in front of them. But breaking 30K as well is going to be Xborg Flowy. They're going to try and top up their HP. Now they're slowly chasing Big Brain Poppy here, and it's about staying consistent like we were hearing from Daydream. Can you be consistent on the day? Can you be able to fight off the mobs? And can you just stay calm in that moment? It's wave number 15 for 2 of our front leaders. And I'm going to be able to break through, because I've heard big things about the 3rd iteration of Wave 16. Adam G13, 29K, 13 waves. That is pretty respectable today, Bass.
Yeah, it's a very good number. Similar thing here for Colors as well. It's me, Colors, going down in wave number 12. Again, it goes to show you, once you get past those double digits, that's really where stuff starts to get rather difficult, including difficulty even in the early rounds here. Checking in on Neorts, and seems like they've only just started getting through wave number 4. But we gotta check Big Brain Poppy, who, again, has continued to be just such an influential player here. I feel like this is who we're gonna look at to sort of set the bar, if you will. What is first place going to look like? It made sense that they did first place, throughout their qualifying rounds, and, well, it looks like they might just do the same thing here. Speaking of looking at the same thing here, Worst Enemy finds themselves with a little bit of a better recovery. For a second there, it was looking like it might be shaky, but now they've completed wave number 13, and they're continuing to truck on through. 26,000 points. Feels like the benchmark right now, in order to be able to qualify for day number 2, is going to be somewhere between that 20 to 30,000 range. Feels like for some of the players who have dropped off early, if they can't necessarily find rounds that are 30,000 plus for the next 2, they're going to struggle to find qualification to the next couple of days. So, not too bad so far here, but we're definitely starting to see some of our front runners. The one that seems to continually surprise me, though, has got to be Xborg. Xborg was 16th coming to this qualifying. Would not have qualified for day 2 had it just been the top 25 from qualification, but they're showing themselves to be a really, really solid contender here already. 5 minutes left on the clock here for Worst Enemy. We're probably going to check in on them for a little while as they continue to battle through wave 14, taking out Fnatic after Fnatic and enemy after enemy, as we're starting to see a lot of those rushing enemies just dive at them. It's probably not the worst idea to try and get those guys out of the way early, and you can focus on some of the enemies that have long-range weapons afterwards.
Yeah, being able to kind of accept the flow and not get overran in your position, that's when you've seen them work in those early rounds, those early waves inside that, the first 5 minutes, to go from the center ring on the low area of the pit now to the upper ring, looking for cover, looking for ways to funnel those horde enemies up to them so they can be able to keep cool, calm, and collected, especially because they're going to be edging themselves to bigger, badder blasters as well as to those boss enemies. But there's still some chip damage. Big Brain Poppy is now just trying to funnel. They have 35,000 out. It's wave 17 as they're just grinding their way through. I do see 40K in their future. This is not a man that will die easily, and this is they've actually gone through a few iterations of different factions they want to rep. This time around, they're repping the Outlaws, which is a change up, and I like it. They get a quick double kill, and it's in these moments where you see players that are just calm. They know how to be able to strategize, and they're really not at odds with where these these spawns are coming from. This is a chosen round, and they're trying to grind their way through it. That means a boss is coming right after into wave 18. And Big Brain Poppy, they've got the strats to be able to get themselves there easily. They were gathering Fanatics up underneath them for a big explosion.
That's a clever way to play this one. Again, Fanatics really are going to be that sort of surprise element for a lot of these players. If they're not paying attention, they could just get caught off guard. I don't know if they're going to get caught off guard here, because it seems like Big Brain Poppy is going to set themselves up for what could be their best round. Again, we talked about this before. Qualification, what's your best round? What can you put up? They put up 41,000. They're on track right now to potentially overtake that, which could be absolutely monumental for their chances of getting into day number 2. Worst enemy, though, looks like they're trying to head to day number 2 as well. 26,000. The big issue for them right now is going to be that clock, because with Big Brain Poppy having just about the same amount of time left, but over 10,000 score ahead of them, they make it through this boss, which it looks like we might just watch them do here and now with the AR in hand, and they're going to be set for a massive score. There is the overtaking. We said, are they going to break 41,000? Let's see if they break 50. 45,000 already here, and this is just our first round of the day. They're just getting warmed up here, Hale.
There's still plenty of time for them to be able to break their own record. It's like they set the world record. They're Usain Bolt, and they keep being expeditious and winning, and no one can stop them. But worst enemy, they will be biting and nipping at their heels. Remember, it's just about survival. There is always going to be someone leading the pack. Big Brain Poppy is the big daddy of this competition, but everyone's trying to be able to extend their life. You get 1 life, 20 minutes, and now we're down to around 2.5 on average for our players. Neo did start later. We're going to be checking them and then in a little bit. Big Brain Poppy with just 100 seconds to go. They're trying to be able to end this one. Wave 19. Haven't seen anyone hit that big wave 20 in a little bit. They are being swarmed. They're trying to be able to top themselves off, but the heavies are coming in surplus. That is the Outlaws that are just going, and not quite gone as Big Brain Poppy maintaining control. They are going vertical. It's no longer playing for speed. It's for safety. It's to extend. It's to be able to get that best score ever. And Big Brain Poppy leads the pack. They may fall just a little bit short of 50K Bass, but this is a player that has come to play today, right now, in this first round is their day.
Oh yeah, they're doing fantastic. You really see that it's a combination of a couple things. Not only are they hitting every shot, I really think that boss was a good example of that. The AR shots just on point, every single bullet that was fired. But in addition to that, the big thing for me that it seems to be so good is they've got this map memorized. You can see them moving around, no wasted movements whatsoever. If they're moving somewhere, it is for a reason, whether to move to health or to get to high ground to try and avoid some of these enemies. At this point, Big Brain Poppy probably going to set, like I said, the bar for the day. If you want to try and chase first place, you got to chase this player in particular. 30 seconds left. They're just going to shoot out some of the gates as the enemies do pop on out. And I have a feeling that for Big Brain Poppy, this might not be their best round of the day, but this is going to be a better round than some of the other players are going to hope for the rest of the tournament. Big Brain Poppy, again, the player to catch at this point here. And with 13 seconds, see what they finish off with. Almost at 48,000. Can they officially get there right now? They're just trying to survive, and they cannot. Going down with only a couple of seconds left on the clock, but hey, results still stand. Almost 48,000. 47966. Wave 19 gonna be where they fall. Hell, like we said, set the tone. That's doing more than just setting the tone. That is stamping the tone with whatever sort of signature they want.
That may be a winning score on day 3. That's a winning score basically today. And you got to see those fun new animations that were added as well. As congratulations, Big Brain Poppy, going nearly the entire 20 minutes. I think they fell about 7 seconds short before they fell to a shotgun blast in the side. But they set the mark. They set the standard. We've got a lot of other players that are still existing, I believe. And so we're going to be checking out their POVs as we're still grinding it out to get through this first round of play. These waves have proven themselves to be very tough. We had some people that fell early, and that's something that we also checked out, is that we had players that they didn't survive the first 5. This is a new difficulty level. This is a new balance for this patch, if you will, this new version, and some weren't ready for it. But that's also why we're giving them 3 chances. If we didn't give some of these players 3 chances, they may have just been smoked and done by the time this round was over. And I think that we may be on the latter end of this one also being complete. So round number 1, it had Big Brain Poppy with 47,000, and this has been quite the field of players to witness so far.
It's been a fantastic field of players. Unfortunately, we don't have the leaderboard quite ready for you guys yet, so we're not really sure if Big Brain Poppy is confirmed in first, but in my heart, he has first place. And I think that to most people, and really the reality, he's probably going to be in first place as well. Again, Poppy not only setting themselves with a massive first round at almost 48,000 points, but they also break their record, 41,000 for qualification, and now they have upped that by almost 7,000 more. Hell, we said that you got to pay attention to our frontrunners here on the day. This is a frontrunner like no other. He isn't just running, he is sprinting towards that finish line in that first place with that golden helmet. Really good stuff so far here. And again, for a lot of the competitors who did go down early in round one, don't necessarily panic. I think you should be a little bit worried, but the good thing for you is you got 2 more rounds left. We're not done with this day. We still got a long way to go. So, Hale, at this point, sit back and wait. We still got a couple more rounds to go as we exit out of round number 1 here.
Yeah, so we're going to be done with round number 1. And a big thing that you kind of mentioned, Xborg Flowy. I loved that we got to see some people that were in kind of that lower 10 aspect and grinding up into that top 15. So there's going to be a lot of conversation about what was and what is. There's that you got here. That's super cool. But I like to call this bracket busters, that they get in on the day, the main event, and they're able to make a big just moment of their own. They may be chasing Big Brain Poppy for at least the next couple of days, but they're keeping themselves in the hunt, and that's huge. That is something that you gotta keep focus, and that's hard to do if you're just getting in your own head about where you came in and where you may go out for an early exit. But I need to know the production out there. Are we good to go? Are Danny and Johnny waiting for us with bated breath? Okay, all right. Let's throw it down to them. You guys have been waiting. Let's go to our awesome host for Collider. I want to hear all about what they thought of round number 1.
That was pretty sweet.
That was intense, dude.
Yeah.
That was lit. Round number 1 came in with fuego, with fire. That was intense.
The surprise for me, I can actually, I don't hear myself much. I don't know if
can you guys
I
hear
don't know.
us?
Yeah,
Chat.
I can hardly hear myself. But anyways, as long as you guys can hear us, amazing, great. All right, so yeah, I think the big surprise for me was Debozy. I don't know what happened. We weren't able to see it, but I imagine it must have been something crazy. We have a little update here from the tech team. For whatever reason, we've had our scoreboards running beautifully, and for some reason, we're having some technical issues. The team is on it right now, and I'm pretty confident they're going to be able to work it out. But I have no idea what's going on. And I'm sure they don't either, because they're also wouldn't be happening, because we've had the scoreboard working in a beautiful way for the last and we actually on our last stream we were able to get it like just out of nowhere. They're like, hey guys, we have it ready, we can have live scores. So yeah,
part of the
we're
fun
gonna
of
be
a live stream.
Yeah,
And
it's
anything and everything can happen.
Anything can happen.
And sort of like the context of the World Cup, you never know what's going to happen, and that keeps us on our toes. It keeps this whole thing alive and kicking. But hey, Dan, we have something for the audience, don't we? We have
Our
something
game
prepared.
experience, a big part of what we're trying to build here, guys, is making this also immersive and fun for the audience. By next tournament, we might even have Twitch integration where you guys can actually activate challenges and help or hinder players. It's going to be really fun. So a big part of what we're building here is building things where the game experience is not just for the players, but it's also for the viewers. And even though technology, the tech side of it hasn't allowed us to do it yet, we do want to do fun games with our viewers and also let them enjoy part of the rewards as well. So let's jump into some
All right,
games
chat. Hope you guys are ready. Christu's been dropping some bombs. We've got some flash fireside questions, and we've got a question for you guys as well. We're going to do a build-up, a ramp-up. We've got 3 questions coming up for each of you on the Twitch chat. Hope you guys are ready for our first question. And why do I say ramp-up? Because there's 100 USDT up for grabs for this first question. Are you guys ready? Dan, are you ready?
I'm ready, sir.
100 USDT. Next question could potentially be more than that. So guys, stay tuned. And how does this work? We're going to ask the question. It's a multiple choice answer, and the first person who answers it right gets the premio, gets the dinero,
It's
gets
just
the
one prize of
chimichanga.
1,000 USDT?
You take off a 0 from that.
Oh, okay. So we're
one
doing
prize up.
$100 bucks.
Of 100
Okay,
USDT.
gotcha.
Exactly.
All right. Let's
100
do this.
USDT. So it's pretty simple. We ask the question, you guys answer in this format. Like I said, it's a multiple choice. You choose a letter, you add hashtag and MT, and then we announce the winners at the end of this live stream or on our chat as well, like Christo's been doing for the fireside chat. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The question is, bang. What is a cipher?
What is a
100
cipher,
USDT?
guys? What is a cipher? Is it a fully rigged, skinned, game-ready, AAA avatar? Is it a PFP collection revealed on the 30th of July? Is it a AAA avatar collection designed by Ted for Meta? What is this, guys? What the freaking hell is a cipher?
Dude, I hadn't heard of Ted for a while. I think he
Is
just
Ted
went.
still a thing?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I thought
Ted
he got
is
canceled.
gone. He's
Elon
long
Musk
gone.
might bring him back. If anybody can bring him back, it might be our friend Elon over at Twitter, doing great things. You know,
I think he got shadow banned.
yeah, I think he got shadow banned. Definitely, it wasn't so much of a shadow ban. I think we just straight out just got rid of that drunken fool.
But who knows?
But who
You know-
knows?
You know what it's like
We
with,
believe in second chances.
yeah, you know what it's like with family. Sometimes they just
We got somebody haciendo el aguante desde Argentina.
Vamos.
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 That's probably Alex.
Vamos,
No, that's not
Argentina.
Alex. Who
Vamos,
is that?
Alex.
Alrighty,
guys.
Pepeta. Sorry, guys, my eyes aren't that great out here. All right. So how is this gonna work? Is it the first? Is it the first person who answered it right?
Yeah, the first person who got it right is going to be the winner.
Oh
and
my
we're going to
God.
be announcing all of today's winners. You guys are going to know in the chat who's the winner, but then we're going to recap all of today's winners. Because remember, today, for our first main event day, our first live stream of the Moshpit Tournament, we're giving out 1,000 USDT. So at the end of the stream, we're going to recap and make sure everyone knows who today's winners were, so we can get in touch with you and we can deliver the goods. We can deliver the dinero. Yes, sir.
El dinero.
Disclaimer: all of the
Show me the dinero.
all of the rewards are going to be delivered post-tournament, so don't get antsy.
Yeah.
Don't get itchy. You guys can open.
We got you. We
Yeah.
got you, fam.
Chris
All
is going
right.
to send you guys a message and tell you exactly what you guys have to do.
Brazil's in the house as well. Vamos, Brasil. Fuerza, vamos. All right. We've
Alrighty,
got the chat's
Okay,
the
guys.
chat's on fire.
We're
You
gonna-
guys are coming to get it. All right, so we're gonna do a little pause. All
We're
right,
gonna
let's go with our DJ.
a brief
DJ Goodness.
a brief DJ break, but we'll be
DJ
right back
break.
with you guys first in el DJ de la casa, el facha,
Yeah,
el
sirree.
que sabe,
Look at that. Oh, he's looking good.
bringing in the vibes since forever.
crazy. That was crazy. Juanito. Did you see the leaderboard, dude? Did you guys see the freaking leaderboard? There was an upset. Did you guys see the leaderboard?
I did not see the leaderboard.
Did you guys see a leaderboard? It's up. Did you guys see that? There was
Is
an
the
upset.
leaderboard up? Let's pull it up.
Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Guys, there was some
leaderboard.
crazy business going on.
There was a lot of chimmy going on here. There's a lot of changa to this first round.
Craziness.
Crazy stuff.
Did you guys see this?
OMG.
Big Brain Poppy
Wow.
didn't actually take the win on that
Someone
round.
top
Huh?
Mr. B-Brain Poppy? Damn. And
Wow.
dude, what's up with Catching Man? I think he trolled us all.
Yeah, Catching Man was fucking.
He was
with
like
us.
going for the,
knew,
he was going
I
for
knew
the
it.
for the
I
lose,
knew
and
it.
then suddenly he takes third place. What's
Yeah,
up with
yeah. Catching Man was full of it. I knew it. You guys couldn't hear me, but I was gonna say if we see Catching Man play, we need to yell out, "Are you not entertained?" Because he was saying that he was gonna play, right. He was gonna go for.
He's just setting up a safety net, you know? He's just
yeah.
making sure. He's like, even if I don't make top 16, I'll still get the fan vote anyways. But, he's going to aim for top 3. He's one of what? How many competitors? 6 people over 30K? Yeah, I think he just lied to us. I think
just straight up.
gaslit us all.
I think he was just
Wool
trying to
over
put
our
it out
eyes,
there that he
man.
was looking for a lady.
He trolled us.
It would have been a better
let's look at
strategy.
this.
I think would have been a better strategy. Look, I'm gonna cream all these motherfuckers, and then I'm gonna get the ladies as well. I don't know if that would have been a better strategy. Either way, he freaking pulled it off. What an entertaining round, huh? Right?
Yeah, the craziest thing about this leaderboard right now, the top 10, I mean, regardless of us having, a couple in the 47,000+ range and Big Brain Poppy not being the top one, the top 10 are the scores that we saw for everyone to be able to qualify. We were talking about this, Bass. It's not your perfect day. You only get 3 tries. Everyone 11 and below is 20K points and below. That's less than what they got to get here in the first place. And look at the snake. I mean, not too far away from Black Mamba, which are 2 different types of snakes, by the way. So maybe our reptilian friends down there are just starting off, would you say, cold?
Dude, what is that, man?
I get it.
Boy.
That was bad.
That was
guys-
cold.
It was.
You guys are killing it with the word. And just a little
And,
something I
hey,
wanted
guys,
to add.
let's just recognize the elephant in the room. Is that hat fucking insane or what? It's a helmet. It's not a hat. Sorry about that.
not.
This is
Yeah.
This was my Big Brain Poppy hat. He was repping the Outlaws, and I was like, well, I got a mohawk.
Yeah.
I could do this too. Why
Yeah, and
not?
it's got the horns. All right, baby. Okay, so what's up now, Juanito? Mr. Johnny, man, what are we going to do now?
Well,
Are we done?
we're
Is
gonna.
that it?
I don't think so, dude. I think we're just getting
We just
started.
barely getting started.
But we've got something the chat's been waiting for. The chat wants to know who got the 100 USDT question right, and that moment is about to come up now. Tomasetto, also known as the Pibechetto, let us know who got this answer right. Show us the correct answer, and then we're
gonna
move
go with
on.
the right
keep
answer.
We'll keep this going.
And yeah, let's just keep this party going. I think the chat.
Alrighty, guys.
I think the chat just
So
wants
100 USDT, the correct answer was A. What is a cipher? It's a fully rigged, skinned, game-ready AAA avatar. So congratulations to whoever voted for this answer. And
We'll see who the winners are.
will be announced at the end of the stream,
Yeah.
like we said at the beginning.
Exactly.
Alrighty, let's keep this moving. Let's keep this popping. There's a lot more action to be had tonight.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Fabulous evening. Let's go.
All right. It's all yours, team. Let's take it away.
Hey, let's get it going. Let's get it rocking. Let's get me and Bass stuck in the pit together all over again. All right, so we're getting into round number 2. Bass, you and I, we've got 25 players that are all still alive. 2 really kind of set the tone. Big Brain Poppy as well as Rays. I need to know. We're gamers. We're able to kind of really recognize when someone
Gaming.
takes us by surprise. Do you think that the Big Brain Poppy feels at all like their pride was hit? Do you think they're going to try even harder this time?
No, because again, these are qualifying days. This is only day number 1. Your goal at this point is to just make it into the top 16, or I guess top 15, because you don't really want to have to rely on a life raft to get you through to day number 2. And then similarly with day number 2, we're going to see the same sort of thing. Again, it's about proficiency above all else. It's not necessarily being the best player, but it's about being able to do well enough that you're going to be able to make it through to the next couple of days where it's a little bit more cutthroat. So as it stands right now, for all of our top 5 players here, I don't think we can be all too surprised. Big Bang Poppy, Raze, Daydream, all of them were solid contenders coming into this one through the qualification rounds, and now after round number 1, yeah, look just about as good as ever here, Hale. So I'm excited to see what we see. I think the big thing that we really got to focus on is this top 5, are we going to see any upsets? Because here's the thing. That's only step 1 of the process, of a 3-part process here. If any of these guys go and die early in round number 2, all of a sudden what was a fantastic round number 1 kind of gets thrown out the window.
Yeah, we need our reptilian friends to be able to grow some legs and run with their scores going into this next round. Both Snake and Black Mamba finishing with just a little over 7,000 points each. That's not good enough. The floor right now for entry to that top 15 without having to rely on a bit of popularity is right now 17,000 points. I'm expecting Alex, Greedy for Win, and Micro B to really be elevating into that 20K range. We're talking about comfort zones. We're talking about, all right, is it speed versus safe play? How will a lot of these guys play? D-Bozy dropping out early. I think a lot of us were kind of expecting for him especially to go a little bit further, go beyond, plus Ultra if you care, but D-Bozy ended up with that 13K range, and they were in that top 5 last week. Whenever I got to see them play, they were in a very comfortable 30,000 plus point, but that was also a different version of the game. Everything's gotten harder. The FPS has gotten better, but so has the top end, the upper echelon, the top 10 of today's 25 competitors. So this isn't your full sweat fest, but this is when we start to separate the ones that were ready from those that were not. And the top 10 are looking pretty good. We're going to be seeing a lot more of them, especially as we analyze going into round number 2.
Yeah, it really does feel like at this point, that's kind of what we have to do, is just sort of make our guesses of who is really going to be able to make it through here and start to see what are the patterns that emerge, what players are doing better, and why are they doing better as well. And, well, I'm just about ready to get into our top 25 and into our second round here. Again, a little bit of a redemption round for some of our guys on the lower end, but for the guys up top here, it's about trying to continue with the consistency that we've been harping on all night long. They just got to be careful here at this point. I think what would you say is sort of like the key round to get to? It feels like if you can get past, let's call it round number 10 or 12, maybe make it to at least the second boss, that's when you're starting to find some safety and you know that you've got at least a solid round under your belt. But otherwise, I think that if you go out anywhere before even double-digit rounds, that's when you really got to start worrying.
Yeah, we got to see D-Bozy. I think they fell out around like the 7 to 8 rounds, and that was with 13K. And I think we're ready to go. So I'm thinking about the same thing that you're thinking. Get through a couple of bosses. That's when you have at least a nice static pool of points. You're probably in that upper teens, maybe into 20s. But I think production is talking into our skulls. We're sending the vibes. Are we ready to go? Are we going to be counting us in? I think that we're ready for Danny and Johnny to be going hype with you guys, especially the DJ. Crank it up a little bit, DJ. Let's have some fun over there. Hey, give us the good love. Yeah, they've been dropping beats for you, and of course, there it is. Collider's been able to give you guys something to tune into, be it the competition, be it the music, or just, of course, communities that have all been smashed together. It's been one heck of a wild ride. But, hey, Rod, we ready to go into round number 2? We got 25 players. Are they all ready to go? I think. Somewhere out there. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. They're waiting out there. So, it's something that we can compare. It is falling into this competition. We got to see how our top 25 list was, and I want to know, and I want to see how these players can continue to maybe be at that top. He's in that number 4 position. They fell to number 5. We're seeing direct competition. Raze and Big Brain being that 1-2 position. Daydream and in that 5. I want to continue to be a long-lasting story. But we go round number 2. 20 minutes less on the clock because we're waiting.
Well, at this point, we're just really going to sit back and wait, see who's going to maybe get some of those early exits. I think that's something that you and I have talked about a lot, is that for these first couple, say, until the halfway 10-minute mark, it's more about, are there any rises? Are we seeing anybody nated early and end up having to go back and get ready for next round? And honestly, for the players that we're focusing on right now in Yorts, well, Also, big running Poppy. I don't necessarily think that they're going down too early. Headshots on over. And so, just gonna take a second. Get, ready for this one. You guys are doing well as well, as it feels like we're starting to see action definitely not only ramp on up, but we're going to see a little bit more. Again, this second round, really where we start to separate puppies from the dogs here at this point. But Zero, they're trying to get in the playhouse, maybe just be able to rough it as we didn't really talk about that in the first round. They didn't do poorly, but it feels like if you really want to stamp your mark on this one, you got to put yourself 20,000+ mark and really be able to, again, push yourself from the rest of the pack going into, round number 3 after this one.
Yeah, Zero started a little bit late, so we had to kind of wait for them to grind it out. But if you guys were wondering why we had the 2 rounds, just to see how they ended, but already Zero into wave number 4, and I want to see more that they're rocking right now. At least by quick damage, something that I've seen as a strategy as well. If you can't quite get a fill, you should be getting straight like spawn kill these gates open for this for 5 rounds. Maybe you won't get the fanatics because you want to make sure you don't just die as they swarm you in the mid, but chip damage is especially key going into your second rotation of rounds. And so it's pretty rough. It's pretty good. These guys are trying to be able to maintain control, and Neo has control of the middle of the pit as they're in wave 4.
4, like we said, not necessarily the most full rounds here. Again, the ones that you really got to focus 6, 12, and then I guess anything but beyond 12 as well, as that's really where to see some more of those heavy enemies come through here. The big one that are going to have to focus on are just that absolute just jump in, see if you can explode, see if you can get some damage on the player, and then really start to make them panic. You can see these right here just absolutely charging without a stock. Rage, unfortunately, having to fight up against them here as they get through round 5. Again, you'd think, oh man, this is going to be difficult. How are they going to get past? Well, they get past this, they immediately are a boss. So again, as much as the challenges have definitely gotten difficult, and as much as we have seen the tweaks on the enemy time has gone on here with the more recent builds, it doesn't necessarily mean that easy at this point. Might be a little bit easier, but there's nothing easy coming out of the mosh pit at this point. Well, speaking of not so easy, Great officially finding themselves up against the first boss here. And they get past Twinkle, rocket launcher in hand, gonna do massive damage early, try and get close. Shotgun though, an interesting up. They drain a lot of their health. Starting to see those calculated moves. This is why it pays to be able to play through these builds on repeat. Exactly how much health you have, exactly how much damage the boss can output, and be able to really calculate every approach that you're making.
See, I tried to do the exact move whenever I was playing the game, and I got obliterated by the minions as well. So I'm glad that someone's able to pull it off. It just wasn't me. So we get to see the first down. That is a good strat. You can either use the rocket launcher to get some immediate splash damage, reloads, that's fine. You'll be able to get some more splash damage, some wide damage to be found on that shotgun. And so when wave number 7 is looking pretty good, already at that 11K mark, and remember the floor of entry right now, even if it wasn't their showcase in that first round, it's still 17. Now been leveled up. We'll be able to find out more of the leader. We that up just a bit to see how it happens, maybe around that midway mark, but this is just about staying steady. If we get any early deaths, again, like you said, put these guys in a very tight situation, and if there's any learn to be from esports, regular games, you're not playing at best when playing always with nervousness, anxiety. You want to be able to play from a place of comfort, peace, and I mean, yeah, fast-paced gameplay, but you can still do so with less tedium and more just enjoyment to the mosh pit that you're being able to get into.
Yeah, and I think at this point it is about making sure to just, eat your time here. The great thing for all of the players that have made it, they're guaranteed at least some is that NFTs will be given out to all of the players participating, even if they don't make it final day. And so you got something to look forward to. You got to make sure that yourself a little bit of a goodie bag, if you will. A goodie bag here. We're starting to see some players that are not able to secure themselves more than just the smaller goodie bag. In our bottom left, Kiza finds themselves early exit in round number 2. And that one's a bit in Kiza was in 5th place with 34,000 points. Now, with an early exit before we even get 5 minutes into our second round, this is what we were talking about. Paying attention to those upsets, to the players that might have been well to start off, but you got to start off good. You got to stay consistent.
So, hey, you know what? It's a boon unto Kezia for being able to start off strong. They got that nice score, and maybe enough to be able to make it into day. In fact, it could be more than enough for them to have an upper 5 finish, depending on this finishes. They've been consistently in that top 5 for a long time through the playoff, and now into the one of the main event. And you know, you have your early death, you have a little bit of lenient. This is the moment when you say, okay, all right, what are opponents? What is everyone else attempting to do that maybe I can do better? Sometimes these guys are caught by the chosen. They will explode. They'll cut you down, and I'm quite often getting caught by bruisers. They would just slice me in half, and I then get my back caught against a pillar. I can't Xbox, and especially in this kind of situation, if they spawn and run it from both sides, you cannot phase through unless you hard glitch something in this game. But ruin wave 8 complete though for Neo. They're looking pretty sly, pretty key. And this is what I was thinking bad. Everyone is starting to look a little bit more on their game, whether it was just a bit of a warm-up round going to that first and moving into next, or maybe they're up and staying alive for a lot longer.
Yeah, we're starting to see definitely, that level that you're talking about, just being able to move around a little bit more ease, just being able to recognize where weapon spawns are, where all the health spawns are, and just being able to. But I think maneuver is pretty much the only word we can use at this point. Speaking of maneuver, keep on maneuvering way through the second round, almost 7 minutes, just a little bit above that taking clock so far here. Neorts finds themselves with a solid second round so far, but again, this is the front half of this one, and like we said, that wave that you're really is at minimum double digits. They have found themselves in wave number 10, but now can Neorts do anything more than that? 16,000 points on. But when we've seen our first place winner, or not winner quite yet, like we set in the tone at 48,000, you still got a bit of a hill to climb. Right now, they seem to have the running shoes on, wrecking uphill all easily. More shots firing, PRs landing, and at this point for New York, gonna have to check in on them in a little while because they're going home anytime soon.
Right now, everything looks cool, calm, kosher, and clean. Everything's in the teens, and they're about to actually break the floor, that platform, to be able to get into that upper 15. It looks as standing still are. We're going to be giving you an up those as we get through these rounds, as we're able to finalize them. But go to El Stabilo. A lot of you are fans of El Stabilo. He was in that 5 run we had last Friday Flash tournament to be able to see who can really represent the big dogs. And El Stabilo was in that top 10 position. They've had a lot of players that able to jump them of recent, so you know that they're vying for the top of the stack. But at 21,000 points with less than 11 minutes to go, already on the second boss, so they're making good steady pace and they'll be able to get a lot of damage. Now the key thing about this second boss, there is a lot of rocket launcher fire. They have a triple rocket launcher that spreads, and it's tough to be able to get around them. So it's maintain your distance. Micro B is working their way towards there as well, and they're actually working that final chosen wave before they find that boss on the other side. So now, as we get into this as well, we're going to be seeing them maintain distance. That's something that I actually like, is that they, when you go vertical, the fanatics will kind of stare at you. They'll look at you. They'll be like, all right, what in the heck is going on? What is happening? Make sure that you can just kind of play with a bit of your trapeze-ness, your verticality, to keep them away and at bay, and that will save you for all of an extra moment. So if you're looking for some top-level big brain strats to keep you alive, well, maybe just start bouncing, start jumping, start popping and locking and hopping to some safety nets. But with less than 10 minutes to go, we are beyond the midway mark for a few of our players, and it is going to be Micro B that finally gets themselves into a position for success, maybe to start working against the second boss. Bass, this has been a wild one so far.
Yeah, this has absolutely been a crazy second round here. It feels like a lot more players are starting to play on edge. We talked about that risk aversion being a very, very prominent factor in round number 1. Round number 2, I think we're starting to see a lot less risk aversion. People are starting to get a lot more involved with these fights, getting in the face of their enemies, and doing so for a reason. Again, if you have fallen behind in comparison to the rest of the pack here, you need to catch up. And I think that catch up is probably the best way we can describe what a lot of these players are doing right now. For Adam, they're doing exactly that. They find themselves with 26,000 points here in in round number 2. Definitely going to help their position on the leaderboard overall. And my honest to God question at this point is whether or not we see any of our frontrunners get past here due to some unfortunate early exits. Like we said, Kezia finding themselves with only 7,000 points in the second round means that that top 10 position, or really the top 5 position that they had before, is kind of up for grabs.
Yeah, Adam G13 also ended in 7th place before. They had about 29,000 points, so they're trying to be able to break into that top 30. Snake, another early exit, but this one not as early as before. 20,000 points is still a nice position as we get Cat Cam with Bass. It's a cat, it's a fish, it's everything that you could ever want, and it's a snake that, you know, they were able to warm up a little bit. This is a better showing. We don't know where that entry, that cutoff is going to exist, Bass, but it's with that kind of representation, Snake has got to feel at least a little bit better. They know where they can stand. Opposite of that, though, Micro B will be having themselves just 1,000 points less than Snake. And if we look into where Micro B was, they now with that are at 16th place. Everything is grinding on up.
It feels like at this point, as we continue to see players grind further and further into the day, we're going to start to see what is, I would say, the average, if you will. What players are most likely going to be going out? It seems to be somewhere around the 20s, and everybody is vulnerable to those early exits. Big Brain Poppy, after setting a personal best for them, overdoing their 41,000 that they qualified for, go down after round 11 with only 21,000. Again, this is why we were emphasizing how insane of a run it was in the first round. To see both Raze and Big Brain Poppy put over 45,000 up, it really goes to show this doesn't happen every day here, Hale.
No, this is something that it's part of the business of when they want to be able to get it done, they get it done, but it's not done for free. You get 3 chances, and it's got to be some of your best. D-Bozy was the one that fell out early. We're now following Graches there around, I think they're actually just starting. They're in wave number 5 in that 6,000 point range, so they have quite a ways to go. Got to see how they'll be grinding it out, but all these players, as we look at to the live stat boards, the standings as it is, the bottom player, it's actually Colors that's hanging out in that 12,000 point range. So both Black Mamba and Snake, they are no longer those lower guys, and they're trying to be able to get above that bottom 10. Black Mamba actually at 19,000 points, and I think that's where they ended their day, just behind Micro B. So interesting to see who's able to really keep it going. Wolverine in this moment, they're at 26,000 points. Last time we found them, Wolverine, where in the heck were they? They were at 27,000. They had made the top 10. They want to keep vying for an upper 5 position, and with Big Brain Poppy out of this, it's not like his points don't count. He got 47k, but it does leave some open availability to really get a lot of points in this round, and at least set yourself up for not stressing out in round 3.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing here, is just trying to keep your nerves calm, because again, when nerves are high, you're prone to mistakes, and as we've seen, everybody is vulnerable to said mistakes. So for a lot of these guys who are trying to make sure that they don't go into round number 3 having all the pressure on their back, they need to establish themselves here in round number 2. Speaking of establish themselves, Adam has absolutely done that at this point. Adam G13 with over 30,000 points here in the second round. Only saw just over a handful of players be able to get past that 30,000 threshold in the first round. So here in the second round, to see Adam G putting this one up, it's got to feel good for the player here as they just rain shotgun fire over every other enemy around them here. But they do need to be a little bit careful. A couple of them getting in their face, and with only 5 minutes to go, you'd hate to see an early exit here because, again, you're trying to establish yourself, and if you go out before you're able to find full time, all you're really doing is you're at the whim of other players around you who might just be able to overtake you.
We now have a top 8 situation that everyone is above 30k. So El Stabilo's been able to grind themselves there. Exborg Floey, who you had talked about being able to get to the top of this stack, they went from being in that lower 10 to the upper 10. So they got to be feeling pretty good. Adam G13, who I thought maybe was going to kind of fade away, maybe a normie in the middle of the stack. They actually just completed wave 15. That means they're getting ready for that tier that had been a redefined balance balancing pack for that wave. So we'll be able to check on them later. Wolverine, 28,000 points. And this is now where you're starting to see, all right, I can't see the scores of everyone because of you're wanting to stay focused into your game, but you know that upper 15 is going to be so tough to crush. It's at least 20,000 points in that entryway. That means it increased by 3,000 points from the first round to the next, and we haven't even completed these 20 minutes. 4 minutes to go, Bass, and it's anyone's guess. El Stabilo surviving, thriving. They got 31K. They're in that 30K club right now.
I was going to say that El Stabilo probably doesn't necessarily need to put up the greatest results here overall, but I guess not. He seemed to be a fan favorite, but I guess you don't need to be a fan favorite if you can just outgun everybody else and make it through on your own merit. They seem to be doing that right now. Elkis, though, might not be able to join them. Barely any health left. One more shot might just be enough, but they jump on over and find just a little bit of health. The round's not over yet, though. 28,000 is a solid score, but they'd love to break that 30K barrier and really position themselves in the best way possible. Player who was not able to do that, Neort, finds themselves with an early exit at 27,000. They still break what we said was the threshold, quote unquote, in order to be able to qualify with a solid score. 13th round, 27,000, not a bad result. And as we continue to check in on a couple of the other players, things are starting to get dire. Health is going low, and with only 3 minutes left, a lot of these guys are going to start to put the pedal to the metal as they rush to try and break some of those 30K barriers and really set themselves up for a solid position going into round number 3.
It starts to become a chore to maintain your distance and diameter away from some of these healing pods. You want to be able to have yourself topped up, to be able to have as much ammo as possible for the next big wave, and of course moving into some of these boss waves as well. That 18th is just within reach of Alex, as they are actually in that top 10 position at that 30K margin. But it's anyone's guess. You cannot be suddenly overcome and overrun by a wave as they come through, and because of this position, they're actually going to go over to the big LMG. They're going to have a lot of firepower in their back end. And just like Catchyman said, it's not about aim. It's about putting rounds downfield. It's about putting some pressure on the mobs as they come through. We're in the final 2 minutes coming in. And Wolverine, 31,000, they're trying to secure themselves a top 10 because everyone else into that 15, it's still around 20,000 points. And we have differences of maybe just a few hundred. Lots of pressure right now. And Alex is they're just trying to stay alive, but they are being swarmed.
Ooh, they got 2 minutes to survive, though. Not necessarily a ton of time. And, well, as more rounds go through here, I have to imagine a couple of these players are going to get nervous because it feels like, hell, a couple of them might just be finishing on a boss round. At round number 18, we see the third boss come through. And once that does happen, that's where you got to be careful. For Adam G13, I don't necessarily have to worry about that yet. Just get through round 17 and break that 34,000 barrier and set yourself up for, like we said, a great round number 3. Adam impressing me in round number 2 here. I'll keep it a buck. It feels like a lot of these players didn't necessarily show themselves in the first round, but now as we continue on through here, everybody's starting to step up and really show what they are made of. Wolverine taking a strategy you and I have seen many times here. Use the upper ring as a way to force enemies to approach you rather than you approaching them. Just one after another. It's like a bunch of ants just sort of in a line. Speaking of in a line, though, the line will go flat. No longer a beating heart, but an exit here for Elkis as they find themselves a death here at 30,000 points. Again, 30K, a great number. We still don't really know what the number to beat is here because in round 1, it was about 20K. I don't think it's going to be the same number here in round number 2.
Yeah, no, 30K right now, that secures yourself somewhere in the range of that top 12-ish. It's going to be a top number 9, but we're on that third boss right now with Adam G13. They would love to be able to get some extra points. They would put them maybe around 36, 37,000. They've been able to grind it out. They got the sniper in their hands. There's a lot of blasts going down less than a half minute to go. They're trying to be able to put bullets downfield and down range while the smoke, the fire, and the flames are billowing and pouring up from the edge of their platform. They've lost sight of the boss. They need to be able to get a lot of damage onto the mobs and the minions. Oh, but that's some splash damage to Adam G13. It is in a rough position. They have to be able to transition out. They're trying to be able to use that quick dash to get themselves out of harm's way. They've only got seconds remaining to be able to get all the way to them. And so now we've got Adam G13. They will finish at 35,000 points. So round number 2 comes to a halt. Wolverine, 34K. And whew, there are some competitors here because there wasn't a lot of this field that was getting anywhere near these scores the last time around. This time, everyone's been able to grind themselves into a great position.
And this time, we got a leaderboard to show you guys as well here. We talked about this. What was going to be the number to beat to keep yourself in the top 15? It is still 20,000, but it's that upper echelon, those upper players that are really the big difference here. You look at our top 10, no one underneath 30,000 points. Matter of fact, Adam G13, the player we were just focusing on, sets the record for third place at 35,000 points. So things starting to get a lot closer here in the second round. Hale, feels like people are starting to warm up, but unfortunately, the warm-up can be no longer. You got to be at your A game because you got one chance left. Round number 3 is all that we have in store. So it's going to be do or die for a lot of these players. For anybody outside of our top 15, you got to step up because as much as we like to see, you know, those 12,000 points for a couple of these players doing okay isn't good enough. You got to be great if you want to qualify for day number 2.
Okay, no way. Gotta be the big play. You gotta be able to show us off on the day. And if I was Dr. Seuss, I'm pretty sure that I would sign a book, green eggs and ham, whatever, all that. But you guys out there, you've been able to support all of this awesome community, all of these fantastic players. And as we kind of check out the lower end of that top 25, Colors is at that bottom position. That is something that, you know, they're like, okay, I'm at the end. It's whatever. I've been able to make it here. They've been able to get a bigger, badder score when it was in a previous build. They now have pressure against them into round number 3. But before we see round 3, before it's the sweat fest of elimination and life preservers will be at a high premium for being bought, maybe through some pricing or otherwise, we're going to be throwing it back over. Are Danny and Johnny ready for us out there? Is that, I want to know what they were thinking about round number 2.
Doing.
That was wild.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we had some surprises again.
That was a crazy round.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about this?
I'm surprised about DeBozy.
Yeah.
He started
But
on the top.
He still has a shot.
He's got a fighting chance.
He's got a fighting chance.
He's on rank number 24. It's not going to be easy for him. I know he has everything he needs to make it to the top, but it's one life, one chance. It's all he has. So I'm looking forward to this third round. What do you guys think?
I think DeBozy's got to be careful at this point here.
He said something in the chat.
I don't know if you guys are...
He said something like, I'm killing myself in the last 2 games. I don't get what he's doing. But anyways, we'll see.
Apparently, he's hit himself with a rocket launcher 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row, he has now done that. So,
all right. Yeah,
DeBozy.
We have to stay away from those rocket launchers. All right. Well, it's been a pretty fun two first games, huh?
Yeah, very fun. Very.
And I think it's going to be exciting. Those guys, you know, fighting for those spots because to get into that 15, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be fun to watch those guys battle it out. So what do we have right now? Are we going to do a little break, or are we going to do some questions? All right, so we're going to cut for a couple questions with the chat, and then we're going to be back for the final round, end with power, end with strength. We'll let the competitors catch their breath, walk it off, do a little breathing, and then we'll be back in full force. And you guys have also been killing it,
Yeah, you guys too, guys. Hale, Bass, shout out to you guys.
You guys have been killing it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, get something to drink. Get a bottle of water.
Yeah, you guys also. You guys get a little
some
stretching,
vinos.
a little what's it called? A
some-
salute to the sun, and then you guys are back in full force.
All right, guys. Who's ready in the chat for a little bit of action?
It's not done till it's done.
It ain't over till
You
it's over.
can't count people out.
Is that what you're trying to say, senor?
You got a fighting chance. The mosh pit, we wanted to recreate a little bit of that sense. We love watching ourselves some combat sports, big MMA fans out here, and you get that knockout punch and nobody saw coming, and somehow or other, we really want this game to embody some of those surprise, those kind of surprise moments where nobody saw it coming, and we're seeing a little bit of that, but you can't count a good man out. People are fighting for their lives out here. All right, so we're ready for the next question.
We're ready for the next question. And the question is what's on screen. This is for 200 USDT. Go ahead, Chad. Which of these game titles did our studio work on? Answer number 1 is Spider-Man 2018, Fortnite UFC. Answer number 2, MK11, Assassin's Creed, and Street Fighter 5. And answer number 3, also known as C, GTA V, Roblox, and CS. Let's go.
It would have, yeah. Did we work on Spider-Man?
Did we?
That was a great game.
Fortnite was
2018. Fortnite always been crushing it from day one almost.
How was that experience?
Yeah,
Daniel?
we don't know. We don't know if we worked on Fortnite or not.
Oh, we don't know.
But I can tell you one thing. Roblox.
Roblox.
Roblox has got some of the best characters out there. They've set the standard from day one.
All right, guys. For this final round, we're not going to go for a break. We're not going to go for a pause. We're going to go full steam, double trouble. We're going to deep dive, zoom in, and
Get it in the pit.
get it in the pit and double click.
And we're going to
into
deep dive
the
into
next
the pit
round.
and get wrecked.
Show
And
us,
we're also
show us the
gonna
answer
get
to this
good.
question, Tomasetto, so people could know. So people could know who got this one right. Daily prize.
Did we work on Roblox? Are we responsible for this legendary, once-in-a-generation game, Roblox? Did we work on CSGO?
And the answer is...
We'll see right now. And the answer is...
For 200 USDT, the answer is B. MK11.
We had the honor and the privilege of working with the amazing team at NetherRealms. These guys are the best, and we got to work with them on Mortal Kombat 11. We've been working with them for a while, since Injustice. Beautiful, beautiful times. And we also had the privilege of working on Street Fighter, some Assassin's Creed back in our early days. And now we're making our own, our little mini games. Of people that run around and shoot shit up and blow up.
Shooting the
1,000
shit
little pieces.
and getting it in the pit.
Little bastards getting it into the pit. All right, enough nonsense from you, Juanito.
All right,
All right,
guys.
let's get saucy.
Let's do this. Let's go
All
back
right.
with Hale and Bass. I think they had enough time
we
to
didn't
chill.
give these guys a second.
They had
We were
enough
like,
time
yeah,
to
go
get
take a
some water.
break. No, guys.
No
It
rest
looks
for
like
the wicked.
Thomas
and
is
we're back.
Thomas's steam engine is running a mean, lean ship. Look at
He's
these
a
guys. They weren't
mean,
able to
lean
grab
fighting
something to
machine.
drink.
Gotta take,
If I-
you're
if
gonna
I
take a
wasn't
second, refresh, get ready.
All right.
Yeah, if I wasn't a good enough caster, I wouldn't have stocked up on a ton of water. I've gone through 3 water bottles already, so
Oh,
we're good.
boy.
We're fine, all right?
Yeah,
yeah,
my
yeah.
water
Alright.
bottle is the size of my head, so
Wow.
That's like a big brain poppy tactic there.
All right, so you guys think the players are ready?
You know, they've got to
Hope so.
be ready.
They've said their prayers.
We've got a field of guys that are hit and ready to survive. The coolest thing that we've seen, Big Brain Poppy got what they wanted, but maybe not that number 1 position. The good news is it's just about getting to that top 15. So
on, guys.
47,000 is a lot.
Did Ray's also hit the highest score, or is that from his last game? Is this just registering the highest
was-
total score so far?
that's from his first game. First
Yeah.
Oh,
round.
that's for his first game.
Yeah, that's
all right.
that's from round 1.
So this is just because I just work here. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. So
Nice.
so what
from-
we're seeing here
from
isn't
what I
the
remember-
scoreboard from our last game. It's just the highest score up till now.
Right.
Lay it-
so
lay
from
it on
what
him,
we
Hale.
saw, from what we saw from this last one, Bass and I got to witness Adam G13 break into that top 5 because Catching Man and Daydream and Kezia were all right there, but it was Adam G13 that squashed the rest and hit 35K. So they the top 10 are all 30K plus. This is the best scores from our 2 rounds we've done, which means that Snake and Black Mamba, you know, Lord help them, they were able to get above 7,000, thank goodness. So
Oh, boy.
now can they continue to climb? That's the difference here, especially in round number 3.
So if I'm understanding correctly, you at least have to get 20,845 points, at least.
Well,
Right
Did
now.
I get that right?
Right
now.
potentially.
Potentially. We have no
Exactly.
idea
That's
what's
the
gonna
big thing.
happen.
Is that for right now, going into round 3, the issue is that if any of those people up their scores personally and you get 20,000, guess what? You're not qualifying.
You're
So at this
getting it in
point,
the
it
pit.
feels like the barrier. Exactly. Bingo. At this point, it feels like the barrier, I feel, is going to be somewhere around like 25K. We're going to see if anybody doesn't finish under that mark, they're most likely going home and they're not finding themselves a placement in day 2.
All right, guys.
If you guys had to bet on anyone who's from position 15 on down, who would you bet on?
Who's gonna crack that top
An
15?
underdog.
The
They
surprise.
promise.
You know what? I got to see him last Friday. I got to see him in the top 5. And there's a lot of belief that's got to go in him. If we don't see D Bozy make a top 15 berth, I will sell my sandwich. And I make a mean sandwich.
Oh,
So,
boy. Oh, I look forward to that. You know, another one, Micro B. Micro B, I know, is a hustler.
Yeah.
He's been fighting it out to get it. Yeah, so I think it's going to be Micro B, D-Bozy. Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, let's do this, guys. Are we ready? Thomas?
I'm ready. You
We
ready?
good? All right,
Thomas
let's
the
take it
Tank
away.
Engine. Fire it
Vamos,
up.
muchachos.
Hasta la
Vamos.
vista, baby. Meta de rey.
Arriba.
I wish I could roll my tongue. That's how you know I'm not South American. I cannot do that.
Someone
but
told me-
we have.
Someone told me Hale has some
got
good
one-
moves, some dances. Is that true?
I got.
You've
no.
got the
All right.
moves?
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah,
No, no,
sort of.
Oh, he's got the fingers.
Yeah.
Come on, Bass. I can
Yeah.
see that coming.
Yeah.
I'm dancing. Let's
at
do
that,
it.
look at that.
Gotta
He's
get ready.
moving.
We got one
He's
more
moving.
round.
All right,
DJ
we're ready.
Ferguson, he's in the house.
Hot sauce for you guys. Let's make it in here. We got some habanero chili sauce.
Hale, I think
right.
it's time for our classic countdown that we're going to start actually now, but it's going to be something we're going to keep doing
Okay.
in the games. So you can take it away. Bring us that 3,
Okay.
2, 1, and we'll jump into the next round.
How about hot sauce? Sit. 3, 2, let's go to the pits. Let's hit the mosh pit at least one more time. Round number 3. Bass, we got to see these guys gas it up. No early deaths. D-Bozy got to stop dying early, and we got to see if these guys are going to be surviving going for the rest of this.
I think the big thing here is the last 2. So what we've been focused on is our front runners, the guys who are at the very top. How far can they climb before they eventually fall? At this point, we're not looking at the top of the hill. We're looking at the guys at the we're still doing their stretches, getting ready for the marathon. Because again, like we said, only 10 players are getting eliminated. You have a better chance of making it to day 2 than you do have getting eliminated. So for these guys who have been prepping themselves, making that warm-up routine for the first couple of rounds, the warm-up's over. It's time to show us what you got. For players like D-Bozy, for players like Vader, for players Rach, for players like even Micro Bean, like we talked about, this now got to show up. They get one last chance, and if they don't put up a score, like we said, that 20,000 threshold, they're heading in the reality then, even if they get 20,000 here, Hale, there are no guarantees because everybody is still playing and still has a chance to improve upon their score. So now, like I said, pay attention to the guys on the bottom. When you see a death screen pop up on this team, attention to it because I see those play the entirety of the Moshpit tournament.
Yeah, this is do or die time. This is when heroes are made. This is when zeros are also confirmed and concerned because they've been playing this game through all of that week-long playoff. They've been able to just see this go and get developed by the Better Craftworks community that all of you have been able to be a part of from 0 or maybe just day, last week. You guys started into it and you thought this was really cool. It was really awesome. Let's turn this shooter into something even more. Adam G13. This is currently our POV. Top 3. I wonder if they're gonna, they're definitely, for the most mathematically, they're confirmed to make it to day number 2. I got what kind of strats they're gonna walk into, thinking about more at the top of the stack. Maybe to be able to usurp that number 1, number 2 position of Big Brain Poppy and Raze. I think both of those players are I can play around. I can still be showcased, but a lot of folks that are in that bottom 10 position, they've got to be making a campaign statement as to why players and communities should care. Oh, wait! Lex Lead! They are gone! They are eliminated. That is a guarantee with only 6,000 points. Their top score at number 19 was 18,268. They are eliminated from the Moshpit tournament. That is elimination number 1.
one player that is heading home. Like we said, 10 total players are going to be sent packing. One of them will get a life raft, so even for Lex, they still technically got a chance to try and redeem themselves through the community vote. But again, you don't want to rely on happenstance, on chance to make it through. You want to force yourself into that position. And speaking of force yourself through, Snake in what I would say is probably the most precarious position out of everybody. They are currently sitting in 15th place. If all the scores that we see on our leaderboard stand and they don't sure, they make it through to the next day. But if anybody, even a single person, puts up a better than their best, they're unfortunately heading home. Or at least, heading to the life raft, potentially. There's a chance on that one. Speaking of a chance here, Kaching has found themselves with a much better chance than I think you, I, or even themselves really expected. Again, we talked to this player earlier on. It was them and Daydream that we had in our interview to start off the night. And guess what? He was saying, I'm not going to win this. Oh, and maybe I'll get the life raft. Let me get some of the community votes. How about you get a couple of kills as well? This guy has found himself to be a very solid player the whole way through. Currently sitting in 4th place overall. They basically guaranteed themselves a spot in day 2. At this point, the question is whether or not they can improve upon their score, though. Because again, 5 minutes gone, already at 11,000. Feeling like Kaching is going to have a very good round number 3.
Yeah, they were one of those players, honestly, because of that top 4 position. They've actually done well enough if all these current scores were to just exist throughout the entirety of this weekend. They've already qualified themselves into day number 3. But that's not how this works. You still have to be able to reset scores day by day. Adam G13, they're at 13,000 points into wave number 8 with sub 15 minutes remaining. And to elaborate even more, to illuminate how close that difference is between 15 and 16th place with Snake and Greedy for win, that is all of 75 points difference. 75 points. That is ridiculously small. That is a portion of a wave. So it's not even a large portion of that. Rocket launcher dodge. Adam G13 is trying to be able to take him down with that sniper, but it's going to be the AR. They're actually going to create that blast onto the back of another. But as we go over to Alex, Alex is in one of these positions. I think they're in the top 10 already. They were one of our 30K plus club. So they're feeling pretty comfortable, but they'd want to do even better. And we're now more than a quarter of the way in to our final round of day 1.
And, well, it might be the final round of day 1, but even if your favorite player gets eliminated, don't tune away from the stream yet. We might have a couple of surprises for you guys when we end round number 3, as well as if you want to actually know if you won any of the prizes earlier on in the day, stick around. We're going to be drawing names a little bit later, and you'll be able to find out if you're walking home with some USDT in your pocket as well. Speaking of USDT in your pocket, they're going to be hunting for that right now. All of these players trying to get themselves into day number 2 and potentially day number 3, where they will have a chance at over $5,000 in USDT prize pool, as well as a ton of NFTs as well. And well, unfortunately for Alex, they're now going to be at the mercy of the rest of the players participating. They go out with 15,000 being their final score. I got to take a look at the leaderboard here. They're in a good position. They're in 9th at 30,000 points. Still, though, hail, 30,000 is great. If enough people pop off here in round number 3, though, there's still a chance to get eliminated.
It's a slim chance, though. I think that we've seen the Rarity Club. I think that top 10, that 30K club is fairly exclusive. Top 2 at 40K plus is even more exclusive. That's your kind of your VIPs of your VIPs. But when it comes to where these guys in the top 10, I think Alex is in a fairly comfortable position. They shouldn't worry too much. Now, I say that right now based on the current stats, what the leaderboard looks like. So that was also a funny death. They did not see the mobs chilling in the can Xbox. It was 2 bruisers with their swords out. They get cut in half trying to be able to go for the healing pod, and then they just completely danced on their grave. So that was pretty funny. Even Alex was like, all right, you got me, cool. But right now, we go back over to Adam G13, who continues to extend their campaign, especially in the upper side of this ring, and we're approaching that 12-minute mark, which is just nearly about halfway. And this is when all the guys that are in that lower 10 really start to think about what they got to do to succeed.
Oh boy, and I don't know if this player is going to succeed. Adam G13 finding themselves with a whole lot of damage and not a lot of extra health to try and gain. Shots from a distance will pick up a large pot, which should be able to give them the decent health regain that they were looking for. Again, this is the rotation we've seen out of a lot of our players throughout this entire night, is go for the small, use that to be able to travel over to the big through some of the more open areas, and then pick up that larger amount of health to just sort of be able to starve off the enemy's shots. And this is what we've seen on repeat, is a lot of these players will go and gain enough health to where they're comfortable, get back to that upper ring, and then start to try and mow down enemies. The goal here is to survive long enough to where you do have a solid shot and not go down early. Adam G13 scrambling for some more health. Like we said, this rotation has been commonplace, but they need to be careful. A couple of stray bullets here and they're heading home. The good thing for Adam G13, like we said, currently sitting in our third place position at 35,000. The odds of them not making day 2, slim to none at this point, in my opinion.
We're in a player's POV right now that's in a position that they need to do so much better. They're in a bad way. A quarter of their health remaining. The Jackals at number 22. They got 16,500, then trying to be able to survive. Oh, no! And that's going to be another one biting the dust early. So the Jackal cannot improve any further. They will stay in that lower 20s. But again, I mean, I'm saying they're eliminated, but they're not quite eliminated. If you guys want to be able to vote for the Jackal to continue on, then you can be able to do that with that life jacket. So make sure you do stick around, because there's going to be 10 players that are all going to be making a campaign promise that they'll do better in day number 2, and maybe you can help them out. Adam G13, they're just grinding. They're having a good time. I love that they've chosen the Chosen as their faction of choice. This is one of my favorite aesthetics in the entirety of the game. I mean, Monkey Man, Cyber Kongs, yes, I love that one too. This one just has a nice look about it, and they're using the Canex bait box like we saw before with Big Brain Poppy, getting all those fanatics into one spot, causing a chain reaction explosion, and being able to take them out all at once.
It really does feel like we're starting to see a lot more of these strategies of sort of utilizing the AI's movements. Once you're able to recognize what the AI movements are, you can start to use them to your advantage. Again, this is where these rotations that we've spoken about all night long have come to the advantage of so many different players that we have seen. Speaking of the advantage here, Adam G13 might have the biggest advantage here in round number 3, because after a not so great round number 1, round number 2 was astonishing. And round number 3, it feels like they have now found their mojo, the flow that they need in order to try and take one of those top positions. They're already in number 3, but they're looking for number 1. And what they're looking for right now is a couple of shots here against Sugar Dad to try and take out the second boss of this round. Speaking of take out a second boss, how about just try and make it to the second boss here? Worst Enemy finds themselves on 15,000 points. As it stands right now, Worst Enemy would qualify. They have 27,000 as their best score. They were within our top 15, but again, the issue with getting complacent with your top 15 score is that it still leaves the opportunity for other players to overtake you. So, for Worst Enemy here, with 9 minutes left on the clock, they gotta try and give themselves the best chance possible with a phenomenal finish to the night. Right now, they look like they're in a great position. Full health, good advantage point here. They're going to try and take out some of the fanatics. Chain explosions might leave them in a bit of an awkward position. But speaking of awkward here, Adam G13 struggling against the second boss. We talked about this before. This game is not easy. They may have reduced the difficulty just a little bit to give more of a chance to players, but that does not guarantee you anything. So many players we have seen go down in rounds 11, 12, and 13, and Adam G13 might just be another one of those players to bite the dust.
Adam G13 was struggling to get up on that second mechanics box to be able to get that big healing pot, and now they're putting some damage down range to be able to get rid of the second boss, and they do complete it, so they'll be at 23,000 points. I have to give you a quick update. The floor has been risen for our upper 15.
I knew it.
Pasheki at 23,000 points has been able to overtake Snake to auto-qualify themselves into day number 2. So it is a race to be able to get just over that tiny marginal bit of difference between these players, and 3,000 points is quite the climb. Worst Enemy, this is a player that we got to see do so much extra just progress from round number 1 to round number 2. They were in the teens, then they were able to get themselves into that upper 20s. They're being tracked down as these guys are trying to track them down. They're about a fifth of their HP bar. Oh, and the bruiser's coming at them. One big game mechanic maybe you guys don't know about. The lower you get in health, there's resistance that builds up, and and that will be able to stave off some of that upper HP damage against especially some of those melee attacks you're going to get from the mobs. So that does save them for right now. They got to go and get even more health. El Stabilo, 32,000 points, and it's going to be back to Adam G13, who continues to grind it out. Adam is just kind of living on a little island by themselves. Worst enemy will actually end their day, or at least end round number 3 with 18,000. But again, like you said, 27,000. They already had a good run, but they've been moved down to 12th place. They've only got a leeway, a margin of difference of 3 players behind them.
Well, and here's the issue is we talked about this. I said that I was going to bet on that threshold being 25K. Guess what? It's already past that. 26,000, the number to beat at this point. If we can bring up the leaderboard real quick to show you guys exactly who it's going to be, this is why we said even that 30,000 range was not a guarantee. So many players have been getting better as time has gone on, and we're starting to see that now. It's more and more players are playing better and better through each of these rounds and making it even more cutthroat. Like we said, Adam G13 probably going to be in a comfortable position, but when we're seeing our players like Micro be the pick from some of our desk people here today at 26,000 and in 16th place, 26K, and they're still not qualifying, Hale. And Adam G13 trying to make sure they can qualify. Like we said, a fantastic score before, but they need a little bit more if they want to solidify their position in day number 2.
Adam G13 is getting tracked down, but again, yeah, 26,000 is right now the mark, and it's by hundreds of points difference. Snake in 16th. The Beans has been able to move themselves into 15th place with, guess what? Neo, who is now up there in the upper 14. So there's so many players that are starting to find that final stride. Worst enemy at 13, and Micro B at that 12 position. Everyone, slowly but surely, are grinding it into this last mark. We're in the final quarter of round number 3 with 5 minutes on the clock. It has been a wild one. It's been a crazy one. We continue to see Adam G13. They're leading from the front. They're just cool, calm, collected. They're having to take down these waves as a huge horde of these bruisers are trying to be able to track them down. If you get caught in a Canex box and you get meleeed, it's pretty much donezo, game over. But they've been able to max out their HP bar, looking pretty stellar. And again, Adam G13 is not in a position where they're in elimination notice. It's everyone else that's below them. Black Mamba, Lex Lead, that they aren't going to be able to exceed and excel. You got Great. You got DeJackal, who's going to need your vote, who's hanging out that 22 position. Everyone, and you're talking about 25K, 26K, and now it's 27K as Neo's hanging on for dear life at 15th place. All right. Well, we go into what could be the last few moments of these players being able to compete. Now, again, there's going to be a life jacket. There's going to be you guys that are going to help support them, to help live on their legacy, but that's going to be up to your vote if you think they are deserving of it. It's Snake that's in a position that they're trying to be able to survive. They're in 14th place. They have to be able to maximize their output and their points. They get one of those big healing pods to keep themselves in the fray, and they're able to not be afraid of anything that's coming at them. Less than 4 minutes to go, 27,000 points. That's all of a tiny threshold that they have to continue to raise that bar. Neo at 15th, Snake at 14th, worst enemy hanging on by a thread, and they have to watch on in horror as their lead continues to shrink with those that are surviving and thriving through this third round. Snake slithering, but quickly they're sprinting and they're looking very, very good. Now, Bass, Snake, they just have to literally stay alive, continue to get these waves, just get tiny amounts of points, and they may be able to get themselves auto-qual to day 2. So as we get into our last one, Adam G13, 3 minutes remaining, 27,000 points. They're good to go. They've already pretty much been guaranteed because they got that third place with 35,000 points, maybe just to be able to raise their top end. The floor continues to go up, and everyone else is drowning as we get the leaderboard. Look at your top 14 right now. Raze and Big Brain Poppy, they did the work. Adam G13 did it as well. Catching Man with 35K, you got the 30K club into that top 10 range, and now it's been able to extend out to top 11. So, Bass, this is crunch time. 2.5 minutes, your entire just lifespan for the main event left up either to chance or in your hands, but you got to stay alive.
Yeah, you have to at this point. The reality is that that clock is not going to stop ticking, and you need to make sure you are here for every single second of it. Just goes to show you, we talked about the first 2 rounds being a warm-up, but now that everybody's on their A game, you can't afford to make any mistakes, and there could be one here for Adam G13. They find themselves barely on edge, just a little sliver of health left, and trying to find as many pickups as they can. Big pot in front of them, and a headshot to potentially keep their round alive. Wave 16 just around the corner. Can they finish off the enemies and get there? I think the answer is going to be yes. A decent amount of health. Looking around, where's the final one? Headshot with a sniper completes their wave 15. But here's the issue, Hale, and you saw this already, is they didn't get a lot of points from that. So guaranteeing themselves a spot at this point, not nearly as much a guarantee as we might have thought.
If you guys are looking at that leaderboard, guess who made it to top 3? D-Bozie's at 36,000 points. Jumps from killing himself twice into a top 3 position. But we go to that 15 position. Neo, worst enemy. Worst enemy has now looking at his worst nightmare about to be confirmed. They were chilling at 11th. They've moved down to just being second from that near elimination and having to rely on your vote. Worst enemy and Neo, the Beans, Pasheki, everyone just barely being able to get over that margin of difference. Bass, we've got all of 50 seconds, a minute for these players to continue getting as many points as possible. Adam G13, it's cool, coast and clean. They're in the 30K club. Everyone else is sweating it out.
Oh, we're starting to see everybody sweat at this point. Whether or not you're comfortable, whether or not you have a good position, you really want to stamp your mark at this point. And for a lot of these players, it's about guaranteeing themselves that spot. Like we said, going into this game, 20,000, the floor, in order to make it to day 2. Coming out of this one, 27,000. 7,000 point difference here. For Adam G13, though, all they got to do is survive a couple more seconds. Less than a quarter of a minute to go here as Adam G13 just trying to hold on in round 16, excuse me, wave 16. AR shots firing from a distance. The LMG becoming such a huge buff for so many of these players. And Adam G13 knows we'll see him again in day number 2. 28,000 guarantees themselves a spot. And we have guaranteed ourselves a leaderboard that is going to be chock full of surprises.
Oh, Snake was able to get it. It's 29,000 after a horrendous start to the day. They started with 7K, died in wave number 5 to the Chosen Fanatics. They make it into spot number 13 with 29K. My goodness, these guys are able to get so many points. Neo, able to hang on at 15th position, 27,000. Let's see it live. Let's check out this leaderboard. Let's look at it right freaking now. This is your upper 5. You got Raze, you got Big Brain Pop, you got D-Bozy, Daydream, El Stabilo. Then beyond them, Adam G13, they grinded up as much as they could. But hey, you know what? Top 6 ain't bad. It is 15, the mark of success. Let's scroll on down. Let's see how that one is. Micro B, that's someone that both Danny and Johnny were talking huge into moving from that lower 10 to the upper 15. They make it. Worst enemy, they are probably having heart palpitations with how close that one came. But you know what? They made it. And then we look at our lower 10. It was a fight for that kind of middle 8 to 9 that was back and forth the whole time.
It really did feel like this was a fight until the very end. Give it a round of applause, everybody, for our final contestants here. The last one that we will see automatically qualify for day 2 is going to be Neords here. But, again, for our other 10, there is no guarantee that they are going home quite yet. We still got a life raft to give out. You guys are going to be a part of this thing. Who is going to get said life raft here? Will it be the Beans? Will it be DZ Mater? Will it be Zero NFTs? Who is it going to be at this point? Hale, we're not the only people who have opinions on this one, though. It is also got the rest of the desk here. Should be able to bring back in our compatriots in just a second and get their reactions because, man, round number 3, not just full of surprises, full of twists and turns at every single corner. And you can see it, Danny and Johnny going absolutely apoplectic, as they should.
They are going nuts on that. Oh my goodness, Danny, Johnny. How'd you guys like round 3? That one went wild, didn't it, guys?
That was lit. Our DJ's out of control. It's also amazing, guys. Crazy. We're
tell him to. There we go. Yeah. Oh Jesus. Okay. Let's calm down
It's not
here,
just
man.
us, but it's also Fur. Fetty just like goes bananas.
Yeah.
Like, light it up, and he just goes.
He starts
loco.
elevating.
Yeah.
So how was that last round?
That was good. That was wild.
A
We got
lot.
to see D Bosey, your boy, make it.
I don't,
Look,
do you think he did that on purpose? Because that's kind of that's a little risky.
You think he was trolling?
I don't know. That's a
I think
little
2 rounds
risky,
ago, he's
right?
trolling with a rocket launcher.
Yeah. That could have been a little risky. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but yeah, good stuff, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
First day in the books, baby.
I'm
Guys, I've got to tell you something. I got to just be real with you guys. There's so many things that could go wrong on our first stream, on our first tournament, and everything's going pretty good. I've got to tell you, that's what I'm the most excited about.
Listen, it wouldn't be esports if everything went well. Like, if there weren't any hiccups, it's not esports. That's from my years of learning this. It's about how you roll with the punches, and I think we all did that today, including our top 15.
They did it, baby.
Yeah,
and
totally.
they came out today.
They did.
Right?
They did.
There were some sweet moves, and some guys hustling to get in that top 15. Right? I think those are my favorite stories coming from behind. Right,
Hey,
Juanito?
we'll
You
try
like
not to
those
read
stories
into
too.
that, but we get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, coming up from behind. Those, yeah.
But anyways, something that surprised me was Catching Man. Catching Man ended up in place numero 7, and he was willing to be voted back in by the community live chat. I'm actually even considering throwing him out just to see if someone wants to vote him back in. What do you guys think?
I think
you guys think we should do that?
Catching Man out. I mean,
Just
he wanted to get.
It's like, yeah, man, let's
he
make
just
your-
wanted to
we'll
do
make
the
your
community
dreams
life
come
jacket.
true.
Okay, guys. should we put up Catching Man for the community life jacket?
You
wanted
can't
it
do.
bad.
Listen.
Is that
He
fair?
might have trolled all of
can
us.
we do that?
But I think it's 5-headed.
Yeah.
I think he was just too 5-headed for it. He knew that if everybody lowered their guard, he could put up an incredible number, and then we all look a fool. Now, granted, I am angry at him for making us all look dumb. That's on him, and I'm very upset about that. But at the same time, well
Makes for some
played.
good
Man absolutely popped off.
Some stellar entertainment there, I would say. Stellar entertainment. Well played, my friend. All right, guys. So how'd you guys feel? First day in the books. We ready for tomorrow?
Honestly, yes. These guys, I knew that something special was brewing here as soon as that we saw just everyone playing that last Friday. It was fantastic to see how well prepared they were strategically, as well as just, coming in with some attitude. These guys have been kind of drumming up a little bit of that community magic and some stank on the back end of it in the Discord. And then when you come out and you put up big numbers like this, I remember you guys had said, oh yeah, you're not going to make it past the day one if you don't get 70,000. Well, these guys were still putting up pretty high numbers. They were showing up ready to play.
Yeah, there's some fun banter on Discord. All these competitors are on a chat, so they can let us know if things weren't working. And there was a little back and forth there. Just some good old horseplay. No, but it's good. It's good. It's fun to get things going. All right, guys. So Juanito, is that it?
I think we still have something more to deliver. We've got a couple more goodies coming up.
All right.
One, we have a final build-up question with the final prize for how many days does this main event last, Hale and Bass?
3.
3. So in honor of these 3 main event final playoff days, we're going to raffle, we're going to give away 300 USDT for whoever gets this question
Holy
right
moly.
in the chat.
That's a lot
get
of
ready.
cheddar for a right answer.
Bring in your mama, bring in your papa, bring in your neighbor,
amigos y
had your wife,
amigas.
had your kids, but bring in whoever needs these 300 USDT.
All right,
we're going to drop this question
Whew, I'm getting a little
now.
excited
You guys
about this.
ready? Let's do it. Chat. And the question for 300 USDT is, which project is the biggest holder of the Cypher Genesis collection? A, Project Gojira. B, Journey Club. And C, Azuki. First one to get it right wins the 300 USDT. Go, 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 go. Look,
Get it,
go
get
in
it,
the
get it,
chat.
get it, get it,
Go,
get it,
go,
get it,
go,
get it, get it, get it, get it,
First
get it,
come,
get it,
first
get it.
serve. Go, 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 go. Go, K-Dude. Go get it. Go Tony.
Whoa, I see some people in the chat. They're going for it.
Yeah.
C, B.
Go hustle.
Somebody
El
put.
Diablo. Go get it, go get it, go get it, go get it, go
somebody
get it,
type
go get
E.
it, go get it, go get
That's
it.
crazy.
All right, all right, all right. Let's see,
These
let's
kids
see,
are
let's
crazy
see.
in the chat.
We're gonna have a winner very, very soon. Let me check in with production here. How are we doing? How are we doing? Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. All right, guys. You guys will have the winner of not only this 300 USDT prize, but of all the prizes that we've been giving out for you, the audience, today. We'll have all the winners coming up to you right after this pause.
But hold on. Are we going to pause and then say farewell to these two handsome gentlemen that have done the most amazing?
You think we should say farewell before?
Should we just say? I don't know. I'm not great at farewells. I get a little emotional.
What do you guys think? You guys want to jump in after the pause, or is it now a moment?
Is
to give
this
you
a
guys
good time
hug?
for you guys? Are you guys?
Why are you
looking
saying
good?
goodbye? We're still here for tomorrow.
Oh, you guys
and
still?
Sunday.
All right.
Yeah, we're still here for 2 more days. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, come on.
As I said, I don't even know
All right,
what's going on here.
Let's jump into the pause, and we'll get back to you guys in just a minute. Be right back, amigos. Look at our DJ. He's definitely.
Dude, DJ's on fire. Fer, you're killing it. All right, guys. The time has come.
The time has
Who
come.
will survive the community life jacket? Who's getting the jacket?
All right. I think it's about time we wrap this up. Because
we're not announcing the
Daniel's going bananas here.
I was like, why do we let Hell
confused.
Monkey and Bass? They're done, and you're like, no. We still haven't done the life jacket.
Exactly.
I thought we were doing the life jacket now.
We have to do this like voodoo ritual together. Like we know who just died, but now we have to revive one of
We're
them.
gonna
Like,
revive,
We can't
yeah.
do that solo. We need to, all the more the merrier. The more manos, the better.
All right, we're gonna do it together.
All right, guys. So the first thing we're gonna see now is who didn't make it. Who was in the Nagme team? Let's bring them up. Let's bring them up from their graves. The shame. What's it called? The walk of shame? No shame. No shame.
There's no
Everyone-
shame,
people-
man. They
people
fought
gave-
like warriors.
yeah,
they went
they
out
gave
on
them
their
everything
shield.
they
Don't
had.
listen to Juanito. You guys are freaking beasts. Day
All
just
right,
wasn't
guys.
your day. But don't listen to Juanito.
No listening to the hairless man.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right.
So everyone
The
who's
Warriors.
X'd out there didn't make it. But guess what? Like life, we come with a new opportunity to jump back from the dead, and jump into day 2 of the Moshpit Tournament. How we're going to do that is through the community life jacket. And everyone who's on stream, who's hanging out with us, who hold the fort for these almost 3 hours of live stream, are going to be able to vote for their favorite player. So chat, I hope you guys are ready.
Colors is strong in the community.
Colors
might get that life jacket, huh?
We're going to drop a vote in the Twitch chat, and you guys will be able to bring back one of these 10 warriors. Bring them back. Give them a second fighting chance to go for that championship title. Tomasetto, also known as the Pibechetto, is going to drop
So people in the chat basically have the power to make dreams come true.
something like that.
Oh,
Dream
baby,
makers.
that's a lot of power. You guys better wield it with caution, wisdom, and grace.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
It's that time of the day when things
It's
start
that
going
time of the
bananas. Things start
day.
going south. But before they do,
We're
Chris
gonna
Stu
end this stream before things start going south.
is going to drop the questions in the chat. Stu, are you ready? I hope you are, because the community life jacket is about to be dropped in the chat. You have a chance to bring back your favorite guerrero, your favorite warrior, the man in arms who gave us a show to remember. Who will bring it back? And there you go. You've got
Oh
Colors.
my God,
and
Colors.
This is
called
being
it again.
updated live.
Again, I called it. I don't know what
Colors,
the hell's going on
greedy
with this.
for win. The
I don't even know what I'm
beans,
doing
grapes.
here, and I called Colors.
Go chat, go.
So
Go
this is
chat,
insane.
go.
So something to consider. So
Yeah.
something to really kind of look at. There's two, I would say, obviously there's two major front runners. Greedy for win, before we started the main event today, they were in the number 3 position through qualifications in that playoff. So that's probably why they have a lot of votes that are going to be like kind of running towards them. But on the opposite
my
end
God,
of
this
this,
is crazy.
Beans missed that cutoff by 900 points. 900 between them and Nia. So I'm surprised they don't have many
That's
votes.
tight
This
there.
is pretty intense
It's
watching this
intense.
live.
Greedy for win and Colors. How would you guys shoutcast this? What's happening up there at the top? We're like,
Yeah.
there's
Guys,
another
give it
competition
to us.
here.
Give
What's
it
going
to us.
on?
See that pie
Yeah,
is moving
pie
around. I'm
charts.
getting excited.
The pie chart is going bananas.
It's
Colors
going
and Greedy for
crazy.
winners are going to
Cast
the top.
the pie
Can
chart.
they make it? Will they make it? We won't know until it
I've
goes
never
down.
been so excited looking at a pie chart in my life.
And
It's not even done yet. We still might actually have somebody come out of nowhere. Like Black Mamba went from 0 votes to 3 in about 2 seconds. Like we have so many people who could potentially take this.
Get on your VPNs as quickly as you can, as many as you can. Be able to mask those IPs. Be able to create as many votes as you want in all the regions you think you can make them. And just get on them. It could be your laptop. It could be your cell phone. It could be your grandma's. What is that weird one with the actual thick buttons? Just yeah.
Blueberry. She's using a
vote.
Nokia. Yeah, let's do it. Wield that power with grace and wisdom and dexterity.
How much time should we give them?
Oh,
okay. Should we do a countdown? Should we do a countdown?
I'll tell you what. Why don't we go to the daily prizes? We'll show people who won all of the prizes, and then when we come back to this,
do we have those prizes? Do we actually have that ready?
That's a good
We're
question.
So organized, it's ridiculous.
Tomasetto, also known as the Pibichetto. What do we have? Do we have the list of warriors, on the chat who've been hanging, who've been vibing, who've been thinking about the question and throwing out the best answers to win the goods, to win the USDT? Do we have a list of winners? The answer to my question is a positive. We do have a list of winners.
Oh my God, it's already like designed and everything.
The list of winners is
so professional.
Yes, sirree. So, for the first 3 questions we asked in our stream, we've got Noxy with 100 USDT taking that back home to celebrate the weekend with his familia, with his amigos.
You can get a lot of cervezas with $100.
Yeah. The goods. Slake TV with
Smash.
200. Double Trouble. What's he going to do with all that dinero? Let's hope he doesn't spend it all in one place. PS5 2012. He's going for the win with 300 USDT in honor and celebration of the 3-day main event that we're celebrating and hosting with these fine gentlemen.
Much
Hail
success.
Monkey Man and
Much
Bass
success.
from the past. That's 100, 200, and 300. And then for the 50 USDT mark, we've got Seki taking 50 back home. Kickox with 50 in his pocket. Muffin Meter, 420, taking another 50 back home. Booze Dome, 50. Rami, 50. And D-Jax, they're all taking 50 in their pocket to go and rock this weekend's joint. A round of applause for these fine
All right, guys.
amigos
Beautiful.
who won these USDT prizes.
This stream wouldn't be anything without the community, without the viewers. You guys make all of this possible. I hope you have. I don't know where we're gonna get the money to pay for all of this.
Yeah, it's called
Are
a
we
night
just gonna
shift at
FBS
McGee.
this, or are we gonna really like? Yeah.
I can make some real delicioso burgers.
Yeah. We're gonna make this happen, right, Juanito?
Yes, sir.
Look at the
We
camera.
will.
Are we gonna?
So now what? Should we go back to the community life jacket? Are we ready to call the community life jacket a wrap?
Okay, no. Let's try to guess. Let's try to guess because we can't see it. Can you guys see it? They can't
No,
see it,
no one
right?
can see
All right. All right. Let's go for it.
Tomasetto. So,
No. But first, let's guess. What do you
oh,
think?
guess.
Who's taking it?
Colors. My guess is colors.
Yeah, I'm also going with colors.
Greedy.
I'm gonna go with.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, I think greedy.
They had
Greedy
such a
like
lead last we checked.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's
it
go
was
back,
a great
let's go
lead,
back.
and I think that they're gonna be a great competitor. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. 3,
Okay.
2, 1. Who gets the community life jacket? And it's Greedy for Wayne. Greedy for the win.
Snapshot.
DZ almost made it.
Back
2
from the
votes.
dead.
Wow. D. We didn't even see a vote for them when we last
Hold
checked
on. Go back.
Go back.
No, wait. No, go back.
No,
I
we
wanna
can't.
see-
That's it.
Oh, is that is
There's
because they're
some
still
people
voting?
still voting.
Oh, there's no
They
voting.
just
All
go
right.
VPN.
We just had to cut it. All right.
I can see those blueberries
Oh,
kicking
my
in.
God.
Huh? Wait, how does this work?
This is intense. I think
the
we
way
need
it
to
works,
layer
man.
on some gambling with all this, and this is going to be an epic stream. Next tournament, guys, we will have a layer of gambling for everybody, for all you DJs out there. Nah, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. All right. All I know is it's probably legal. We're in South America, so that's a huge plus. You're just kidding. All right. So
I'll take that back. And before we keep going down the route of
All right, shout out to all our sponsors. Nah, all right. So, all right.
Now is
so
the time where we say goodbye to these fine gentlemen.
yeah, guys, you freaking killed it. All jokes aside, we try to keep it professional, and that's why we brought you on to the stage, because you guys are professionals through and through. You brought life, vigor, enthusiasm, excitement, adrenaline to this whole thing. Without you guys, it just wouldn't have been what it is. And you guys made it what it was. And we're ready for tomorrow. So get some rest, get some sleep, have some cervezas, chill, do the yoga thing, whatever it is you guys do to get ready for the next day. Do whatever you do to be so amazing. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Big round of applause for Hell Monkey and Bastard.
Thank you for having us.
Killed it, amigos.
You guys killed it. Bastards.
Thank you guys so much, man. Making our dreams come true. This was next level.
Oh, guys, I'll tell you something. What's it called? The character lead for NetherRealm. So it's a character lead that works on Mortal Kombat and all these great things. I was just chatting with him. He's like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, oh, we're on the thing. So he jumped on and he was like, oh, those casters are killing it. So you guys got some props from some people who do some amazing things.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
You guys are freaking
super
you guys
cool.
freaking killed it.
He's
All
like,
right, thank you so much.
Your casters are killing it. You guys should just
Yeah,
leave
you guys should
now.
just shut up and
Leave
go.
it to
Yeah.
that. It's about time.
Go back
you
to
guys
making characters for games.
keep running your business. Let those guys do what
No,
they
you guys
really
killed it. Thank you so much. All right,
Hey,
is that it?
you guys were fantastic hosts. We couldn't do this without. Well, we couldn't be here without one, you inviting us, and two, you putting in a fantastic product that everyone loves. And I honestly can't wait for day 2.
Absolutely.
This is gonna be freaking sick.
All right, let's do
Amigos,
it.
big
All
love.
right.
Thank you so
Hasta
much.
la vista, baby.
Peace out.
See you guys.
See you tomorrow. Get some rest. Stay golden. Chimichanga. All right.
Listen to that. Dale, Fer, there. All right, chat. How are we doing, chat? I'm feeling pretty excited.
we're doing
Go for another
fabuloso.
hour.
All right, guys.
I can't see the chat. Go ahead and chat.
We're here.
Can we see the chat or no?
We're here for the beer.
Chat? Go ahead and chat or no? No, no. We're just see chat. I hope the chat enjoyed this. We're vibing with the DJ. Oh, better. That was pretty good, Juanito. Yeah. That was fun, huh? We had a good time, didn't we? You have a good one? All right. Tell me. All right. Okay, so before we leave, Juanito, let's be responsible adults now. Okay.
Guys, we want to thank all of you for coming, for vibing, for hanging, for
chilling.
giving us the most valuable thing you could give a person, which is their time and attention. We appreciate it. We
Ooh,
respect
that was
you.
profound.
And we also want to shout out all of the communities of our partner projects who also came to hang, who came to have a blast, who came to support,
Who came to bang?
who came to bang, who came to bang and go back with the bag. But not only that, they've been supporting us on Twitter, on Discord, shouting us out, backing us up, making sure that this day, this kickoff day was memorable and a great experience for all of you. So again, thank you guys, Journey, thank you Neo Tokyo, thank you Cyberkongs, Project Ojeda, TTOO, NFA, Byte, Affinity Collective, Degenheim, Alphabot, Crypto Walkers, Go Art, and Continent. Thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you guys for being with us on this journey.
Yeah, you guys are
appreciate
what make Web3 great, right? Like,
Yes,
I don't
sir.
think any of this would have been possible outside of this incredible community. You know, as we were saying, it's been a tough year. There's ups, there's downs, there's rugs, there's highs, there's lows. But this is cool. You know, being able to meet all sorts of new people and just giving it a shot, man.
That's all we got.
That's really what you want in life. You just want the opportunity to give it a fucking shot, and we did.
That's basically what we
And,
got.
and a big part is thanks to all the communities, all the great people that are supporting us. Thank you so much. All the amazing guys who came out to fight it out in the mosh pit. You know, I think we had a great first showing of the game that we're working on, a great first showing of the community that's supporting us, of the players. And I think, like when people think about Web3 games, they're like, they won't be fun. They're going to suck. Web3 games suck. Suck on this. This was a pretty fun time, wasn't it, Juanito? Suck on that.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
That's
all
not
right.
financial advice or
Yeah.
life advice, like the second part, but we had a blast.
Yeah, we had a blast.
It was very fun.
Yeah. And thanks to the chat. You guys are freaking amazing. You guys are great. Let's go, Juanito.
Thank you guys so
Let's
much.
book it.
Peace
All right.
out. Talk soon.
We
See
love
you
you all.
mañana.
You guys are
Hasta
the
la
freaking
vista,
best.
baby.
See you later. Hasta luego.